Now we are live. Hello, everyone. Sound check time. Hello! If your speakers are still working, let us know how we sound. And you get to watch me make my vodka tonic.
What's with the limes? You're gonna use it in your vodka tonics?
Yeah.
Okay.
Weren't you the one who was giving me shit for using the lime juice in my vodka
I
tonic?
was
before?
actually, yeah.
All right, yeah. So I get real limes this time, and you're like, "What the fuck, man?"
I forget why you have them. What is happening?
Are you looking at what's right in front of your face?
I mean, I can assume that's why you were doing it.
No, I just keep limes here in the studio in case I need them for later.
I thought maybe you had Coronas hiding somewhere.
No, I do not.
I was gonna say, is Brady coming? Speaking of, if Brady, if you're in the chat today, I'm curious to see if you're going to be coming out to New Jersey for J Matt's retirement. Why does this keep popping up?
What?
The news kept popping up. The news. Great New York boobs.
Jesus.
That's next week, right? Or weekend?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
We're still doing our military AMA next week.
Hello.
So, are they saying we sound good? Oh, we got Cowboy Ted again in the chat this week.
5 a.m. I am so disconnected from what's going on out in the world, and in particular the rest of our podcast universe.
Mm-hmm.
Why on earth are you going, Scott? Are you going live at 5 a.m. tomorrow?
He went live, but early last week too.
I mean, I guess it's what 8 o'clock for us.
Still early though.
It is early,
but maybe that's the only time that works for his schedule.
Maybe. I have it.
So did anybody say how we... Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Talia doesn't know enough to bust our balls first before actually indicating that it's a good sound check.
Oh. Yes, you will learn when you are at peace.
You will know.
Good mix going here.
I have to do generic 30-second because I forgot the fucking kazoos.
Yeah, no special video this week.
Brady.
Is he in the chat?
Yes. Are you coming to Jersey for J Matt's fucking retirement? If you are, we need to get hooked up for shenanigans.
So this is that one instance where somebody in the Air Force knows somebody else. Like, I'm sure you have gotten it a lot over your career. Maybe we should save it for next week. The whole, oh, my son's or my nephew's in the Air Force. Do you know him? He's based in Florida. Like, no, I don't.
Yeah, it's yeah, we can definitely talk about that next week.
Oh, that's good. Once it hits your lips. All right. So they say we sound good.
All right.
I guess I should get everything ready. Did you fill in your shit in the notes?
Whatever I felt was necessary.
So nothing?
There's a handful of things.
All right, I got my handwritten notes.
Like you do.
Mm-hmm. All right, there's that. Get this or that pulled up. Alrighty, I got a funny story about that too. So
this or that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now I wonder why that came up as the last one, because it was not last in the poll. Just go to our Instagram really quick. I didn't hear John Williams blasting, by the way, as you pulled up.
No, what was I listening to on the way up? Oh, it just finished. I only have a couple of Indiana Jones things in my John Williams playlist. Not because they don't deservedly have a place there. I just haven't updated it.
Gotcha.
have top men working on it right now. What are we working on?
I need 2 men on this. That's what she said. No, not right now. But that is what we need. All right. I don't know why that was out of order, but I'm telling you, that was not the last poll question. But I'm pretty sure the last one was the Smite scene. Whatever. You'll understand when we get there.
Okay. I am ready to go when you are.
All right.
It's 5:35.
Oh yeah. Actually running a little late.
Daylight time.
Your toast.
It is my toast.
All right. Okay. Audio is recording.
Ensure the proper microphones have been selected.
I better check. Yes, they have.
All right.
That has been an issue in the past.
Reverb is off?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Apple.
Let's get ready to do this.
All right, your toast.
Ready and toi. To Wally Frogmore.
To Wally. It's terrible.
So many of you that are part of our Sidebar Cantina Facebook group may have gotten a just the most amazing picture presented to them in the form of what I have been happily calling Jason Rose. So a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, it was like a month ago.
Was it a month ago?
This was quite a while ago.
A bit ago. I had we were talking about something. Wally Frogmore had drawn Jason in a particular pose with a sword or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Somehow the conversation got to where I had asked Wally to draw Jason like one of his French girls.
Right.
And so Wally, being an amazing listener and quite the artist, indulged us.
Yes,
and
he did.
It was fucking phenomenal.
Us.
So in spirit of that, I believe that I also had said that if such a thing should occur, that a t-shirt would be made. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to present you with the Sidebar Cantina's TeePublic page.
I have not seen this.
He has not seen this.
Oh my God.
And I give to you Jason Rose on a t-shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, you too can own what is undeniably one of the most just mind-blowing images of our modern day.
Oh my God.
If you go to tpublic.com/user/ the Sidebar Cantina, you can, in fact, get yourself this. Wally was great when he sent me the original sketch. I asked him if I could modify it, so that we could get it onto a t-shirt. So I applied some what could be best described as a I don't know, a sensor block over Jason's genitals.
So, well, and this is the thing, when you propositioned him to do this, I did not think he was going to draw me with tits. Was not expecting that aspect of the drawing.
And the best part was, and you those of you watching on YouTube, that's not on the screen right now. But you don't expect to, when you look into the image, that you can see where he had penciled in the fucking nipples and then decided to not finish it with the nipples. But yeah, this is fantastic and an excellent segue to get you to go to tpublic.com.
Wow.
The link will be displayed in the show notes.
And yeah, copy and paste that into the YouTube chat too, just so they have it. Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. I've seen the image. I knew what the image looked like, but I haven't seen the full t-shirt.
Yeah. So
display there.
This is what I was working on over the weekend, and I'm glad I could surprise you with that.
Thank you, Wally. Really.
So anyway.
That's good shit. Wow. So that being said, hello everyone, and welcome to the Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, astronomy, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about.
I miss tits.
Yes, my tits apparently. The hormones start next week. I'm Mr. Jason Roscombe. With me each and every single week, the short round to my Dr. Jones,
nice.
Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I am wearing a hat, so it almost fits.
Yeah.
Do I have to talk like that, Dr. Jones? Mildly racist.
Right. So this is where you normally chime in with something, like tell me how you're doing, typically in pain and tired.
All the above. In pain, tired. I'll get to that when I get my week. I'm still reveling in the artistry that is the Jason image.
And the fact that that's now on a t-shirt.
Uh-huh.
And at least a couple of people are going to buy that. And they're going to have that forever.
Yeah, they're going to have it for as long as it'll survive. And now it's on the internet also.
Yeah.
So not only does it live in the Sidebar Cantina, where you too can get access to this exclusive content. If you go to facebook.com, search for the Sidebar Cantina private Facebook group, or follow us on Instagram at the Sidebar Cantina, because you're going to ask me about that.
I am.
I'm usurping it already.
All right, well done. So that being said, what are we talking about this week, Dave?
Well, as a matter of fact, we were going to be talking about a little Chappelle show this week. However, I had a revelation that came across, and I think I saw it in a meme, and I realized that we were fucking it up. We're fucking it up by the numbers, because on June 12th,
2 days ago,
was the 40th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, how the hell did we miss that?
I don't know. It makes me question everything we've ever done.
Right.
But we didn't miss it. We're here to talk about it this week.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to do.
Excellent. So yeah, 40th anniversary.
40 fucking years.
And we'll get into that. But before we do, we've got a segment on the show that we do every week called This or That, where our social media director, Lunar Girl, goes on to Instagram, which is what again, Dave?
At the Sidebar Cantina.
Yes, and she gives you two options. You pick one of the options, and we go over the results here on the show. So this week, being an Indiana Jones movie that we're covering, we're going to do a Indiana Jones themed This or That.
Yes.
Starting off with your favorite quest, the Sankara Stones or the Holy Grail.
Grail.
I picked Grail too, only because I think Monty Python. When I think Holy Grail, I'm like, the Holy Grail. I like that.
Okay.
So I had no other real insights to that. Lovable Sidekick.
Who won?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Grail won handily, 91% to 9%.
I would agree.
Lovable Sidekick, Salah or Marcus Brody?
I went with Brody.
So I did too, but I did because of a weird reason.
Okay.
Because the actor that plays him is Coleman from Trading Places.
He is Coleman from
Trading Places was one of like 3 VHSs that I actually owned myself as a kid. And I've seen that movie fucking 200 times. So
it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It really is.
So, the actor that plays Brody, I immediately associate him with Coleman, which is good association.
And for me, like in the trilogy, Marcus Brody is like, he's almost ageless, especially when you get to The Last Crusade.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like the character. I like that kind of like affable museum guy that's continuously out of place.
Yeah.
One of my favorite lines delivered in an Indiana Jones movie was when Indy is talking about Marcus Brody, how he has this head start and he understands the culture and the language better than anybody else. And then it flashes into a scene where he's in the middle of like all these like foreigners and he's like, hello, I don't know where I am. Like, it's just fucking, it's just really good.
Good stuff. So, all right. And Salah actually won 69%.
And I could see that. Salah's good too. There's good one-liners.
To 31%. Which is the bigger nope? Snakes or rats?
Snakes.
I picked rats. I fucking hate rats. They're disgusting. I hate fucking rodents in general. Like, I'll take a snake any day, but fuck rodents.
No.
I hate them.
No, fuck snakes.
Well, you were in the majority. Snakes won 64% to 36%.
So here's the thing. So I was a kid, right? We had, I played in the woods all the time. Like, we talked about this before. Like, you didn't really have the woods per se in Bakersfield. Like, you had the high desert and Joshua trees and shit, right?
Pretty much.
So I had like the woods.
Yes.
So we would have, garter snakes and other random shit. And you really want to think anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a hike one time in Boy Scouts. It was someplace in PA. I forget exactly where it was. And we were hiking through this field and fucking came across a rattlesnake. Now, I had an understanding of what a rattlesnake was and that they were dangerous, but had never like met one in the wild. And it was one of those things like, I'll never run into a fucking rattlesnake. Oh yeah, fucking yeah, I will. And it's like made my fucking butthole tighten up to the point where I will never ever.
He'll never shit regular again.
Never. Like it hasn't been right since. Yeah, ever since then, like snakes for sure. Snakes followed close second with spiders. Rats is in there. I feel like I could take a rat.
I just think they're disgusting. I'm not
saying they're not disgusting. And oh, by the way, I worked in Philly at the airport. And in the old terminals, like before they're fucking been renovated to what they are now, and I was a baggage handler, we would drive into these baggage areas and like through these dark ass tunnels. If you could picture like going through like a normal tunnel, except this one is like smaller, not as well lit, and the headlights of the tug would pan across like what looked like a fucking dog. These rats were so goddamn big. They were like this big, dude. I'm not bullshitting you. And they'd fucking, without the tail. And they would fucking skitter across. And honestly, if you had hit one with the tug, you would have fucking wiped out. But they start running back and forth. And you're just like, fuck you.
God damn.
Terminal D, it was the United Airlines terminal.
Check your mic. They think it's out.
I can't hear anything. Anyway.
Yeah, reseat your Canon plug there.
Dave's also...
Shove it in there.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fuck rats. Terminal D, United. It was the old United terminal. It had this like long ass routing to get to the fucking baggage area, and it was fucking terrifying. But yeah, still.
All right. So anyway, if I didn't say so, snakes won 64% to 36%. I'm going to skip this one. I'm going to go to Crystal Skull. What were your thoughts? And God damn it, I'm trying to zoom in. Great movie or You Were Dead to Me were the two options. So this is the funny story I had. As I'm looking at it and I'm pondering and I'm thinking, and I go to like swipe and I misclicked on the thing and I accidentally clicked the great movie. And I'm like, hold on, that wasn't my choice. Unselect. No, once you click a selection on these polls, that's it. There's no taking it back or anything.
You're done.
So I didn't actually mean to click great movie, but that was the vote that I registered.
So what was the total?
The totals were great movie 53% to 47%. So
really?
Almost 50-50, but just slightly more people enjoyed it.
Wow. Now, I have not seen that movie, so I can't necessarily...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll delve more into that when we get to the actual movie portion. That's interesting because I have a opposite story. We'll get there. All right. And the last one is best smite scene, Ark of the Covenant or the Cup of Christ. I mean, Ark of the Covenant, the face melting and everything, that nothing beats that. Even though the Cup of Christ, the dude with the skeleton face and everything, but nah, dude, the face melting from the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, fucking great smite scene.
Yep, I would agree.
And it won 73% to 27%. So that was this or that. And Luna Girl in the chat is very annoyed at the fact that I had to misclick that one. So, because I know she was hoping that people would say that it wasn't a good movie.
Right.
But, well, what can you do? All right, moving on. We ready to talk about our weeks?
Yeah.
All right. So for me, I don't have a whole lot one really cool thing that did happen though over the course of the weekend was I actually got good one-on-one quality time with all three of my boys.
Nice.
Which, that rarely happens. Getting any kind of good quality one-on-one time with any of the kids these days is fucking tough because, first of all, they're getting older and their interests are typically not having anything to do with their parents.
Right.
And, it is what it is. Plus, I'm pretty busy a lot of the time. But no, so Friday, Ben and I went back to Six Flags Great Adventure here in Jersey because I talked about it a couple weeks ago. We went. Well, I was off this last Friday. I'm like, fuck it. We got these season passes. Let's use them. And we went and we had a fucking blast again.
It was another kind of crappy weather day though, right?
Well, yes, in Jackson, where Great Adventure is, it was supposed to rain off and on, but it didn't until about 2:00, right when we were thinking about leaving for the day.
Nice.
So again, damn near no crowd, super nice employees. We were able to walk onto every fucking ride we wanted to ride. Ben rode Nitro, which is the big steel coaster. It's the longest ride in the park. It's one of the biggest rides in the park. And I wasn't sure if he was going to like it because he got freaked out by El Toro, the other big wooden coaster.
Right.
Fucking loved it. We rode Nitro 5 times.
No shit.
Over the course of that day.
Wow.
And like after the 5th one, he's like, "Can we go again?" I'm like, hold on. Because I was starting to feel like sick to my stomach and everything because we were riding rides like back to back to back to back. And it was a hell of a lot of fun. Great experience again. And like I said, it just as we were thinking about starting to leave is when the rain came in. We're like, oh,
perfect timing.
Yep. Let's do it.
So no King Ka yet?
No, not yet. He wants to do it next time.
Okay.
So we're building up to it.
I was like, I don't do roller coasters anymore. I think we talked last time about my experience at Hershey Park, almost fucking blacking out on that one roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we didn't, but regardless. The Nitro experience is, so you have a roller coaster, like the wooden roller coaster is so jarring compared to like these modern roller coasters, right?
Right.
I've been on several different wooden roller coasters. I've been on between Great Adventure and Dorney Park had this wooden roller coaster called Hercules, and it had a nickname that I can't think of right now. But if you Google Hercules Dorney Park, it'll tell you what the nickname was because I think it was Hurt Your Knees. That's what it was. Because I was on it for the first season it was open. We were there on a class trip, and it had this fucking. It was a giant wooden roller coaster. It was the biggest wooden roller coaster in the world at the time. And he went up, and it had this like dip at the top, where so you're kind of like holding on, like ready to crest over the fucking the top of this roller coaster, and it had this like little whoop, fooled you, right? And had this like fake uptick, and then boom would slam down, and it went down to this real tight, hard fucking turn down at the bottom. And it was wood, so it's like clack, 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 it's like just shaking the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And to be honest, after that part of the turn, I probably did black out because I don't remember the rest of the fucking ride.
Right.
But it was brutal. Down the street, that away, in Clementon, we had Clementon Lake Park, which had a wooden roller coaster in it that was built in like the 1920s. Coney Island was like the only older roller coaster on the East Coast. And that fucking thing, when you were on it, it swayed like it was every single rider could potentially be the last rider ever on this fucking thing. and that was terrifying. But then you get onto like these modern roller coasters and it's so much smoother.
Yeah.
Then it's just more enjoyable. You don't feel like you're being beaten to death with 2x4s. So I can totally see why that Nitro experience would have been so much better than the wood roller coaster.
It was fucking intense though. That first drop feels like you're dropping for fucking ever straight down. And then it's a lot of like ups and downs and twists and turns. No loops though. It's a steel coaster that has no loops in it, but it doesn't need it. It's so intense without them. So anyway, aside from my time with Ben, Adam and I, we've been watching The Bad Batch every single Friday. Like as soon as Ben and I got back from Great Adventure, Adam's like, Bad Batch. I'm like, okay, give me a minute to change. And we Adam and I, we closed the door to the room and we turn off all the lights. And all we do is we sit there and we watch Bad Batch and we, bounce theories back and forth. He's really into Star Wars. He loves that era of Star Wars. So
that's awesome.
That's something that he and I have. And then yesterday, Rob and I went to a Magic the Gathering tournament.
Nice.
So when fucking COVID started last year, started in mid-March of 2020, Rob and I had gone to a Magic tournament for some new set that had come out at one of the local shops here.
Yeah, I remember that.
And when we went in and we registered, we were talking to the guys. We're like, yeah. So what are you guys doing about this whole coronavirus thing that's like apparently coming? They're like, oh, we're not sure right now. We're thinking like things might be closing down for a while. Like halfway through that tournament, they came into the room and they're like, yeah, we're done. This is the last tournament we're going to run for a while.
No
and
shit.
Turns out that was the last tournament they ran for a year and a half until this last weekend when Wizards of the Coast, who own Magic the Gathering, they finally allowed stores to run tournaments again. So this last weekend was the first weekend where you were legally allowed to run Magic the Gathering events, and it coincided with a new set coming out. So so Rob and I went to a tournament yesterday and had a fucking blast.
Where was it at?
We went to the one in Mount Holly, Ron's Comic World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Out there on Route 38. So yeah, we went to a Magic tournament yesterday because that's something that Rob and I had together. I taught him how to play at a very young age, and he and I still play to this day. So yeah, so again, good quality time with all three of the boys. Besides that, I'm still going to the gym on a regular basis. But what's funny is over the last few weeks, multiple people have asked me, like, hey, are you still going to the gym? I'm like, yeah. Why are you asking? They're like, oh, because you don't post gym selfies anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. So this week, the gym selfies were back, baby. Yeah. I posted
with a vengeance.
Yeah, I posted a couple on my Instagram. If you don't follow me already, I'm at Darth Roscom, and then on Facebook as well. So all of my gym selfies are out there for the world again. So you know that I'm okay. And
it's good. It's a proper buddy check, I guess.
I guess, yeah. But that's that. That was pretty much my week. Gym and time with the boys.
There you go.
So yeah, this is where we go to you.
I know. I got distracted by the chat as per usual. Scott was saying from the Use and Abuse podcast was saying, damn, I wish I still had all my Magic cards from the 90s.
You'd probably be able to buy a house right now. The amount of value that those older cards from the early days of the game have, like you could literally buy houses and cars with those cards.
I remember you were when you were getting ready to buy this house, you were
I sold a huge chunk of my collection to kind of help fund our initial deposit and moving in and everything.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The fucking 90s. Anyway, the Magic Gathering, that's a whole other thing.
Yep.
My week, I once again, as per usual, struggled to remember what the fuck happened this week. I don't really remember, honestly. I remember this weekend because it's of recent memory. And I went on Saturday. I got up and decided that I needed to take care of the edging out in front of my house. So you don't have a sidewalk, right?
No.
So in my house, I have this zoysia grass, which is it's basically a weed, but it's real hardy, and I like it because it doesn't require a lot of water, and it gets real green in the summer. The only people who complain about it browns out in the winter. When you go and see people's lawns and it's all brown, that's usually zoysia. Anyway, that stuff will grow anywhere you don't want it to. So
weeds tend to do.
Yeah. So I'm trying to grow grass out in my backyard. I've been ignoring the front because we got trees taken out, also blah, 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 right? So on the sidewalk, though, I've been using like the weed whacker to kind of cut an edge for too long. And it slowly creeped in. So now the sidewalk was supposed to be like 4 feet wide is basically 2.5 feet wide.
Mm.
So I'm like, I got to fucking take care of this.
Yeah.
So I decided that on Saturday, this was going to be my task. Holy fuck. Like it was way more of a workout than I was expecting.
Yeah.
It was just out there in the sun, which was great, by the way. I didn't mind being outside, but so I did that, mowed the front grass, and I went in the back and did the weed whacking. And I'm pushing the mower out back. And that mower suddenly became like it was a 500-pound sled. Like it just got so heavy. I'm like, I'm so tired. So, which is really so. See, what happened was softball, right? Talked about softball last week. And I had like, got a little banged up from it. So I'm like, what would I do? Would I like not?
What would you do, or what would a normal person do?
What would a normal person do?
A normal person would rest, maybe not play.
Right. So, that didn't happen. So we had a scrimmage, practice type thing, and started out okay. And then because it was a scrimmage, like I hit the ball, and then I'm like running, and I'm like, oh man, now like I kind of have to run. Like there's a difference between like jogging, like, oh look how far I hit it. Then they're like, oh man, I'm really gonna have to run. It did not end well. Like between my arm and my leg, and it just was like fucking brutal. Ugh. And that was Thursday. So Thursday into Friday into Saturday morning, in pain enough to be nauseous, basically. So on Saturday when I got out there, I'm like, pain be damned, I'm gonna fucking do this edging, which is a great plan, Dave. Because Sunday morning I woke up and we had this like lodge cleanup, and I was moving more shit that I wasn't supposed to. So like when you asked in the beginning of the podcast, like usually what Dave says how you are, and it's like you're just tired and hurt. Like, yeah, that's because of shit like that. So the moral of the story is fuck softball. I really need to not do it. Even though I really want to, and it's a lot of fun, I can't. I just physically can't do it. And yard work is a good fucking workout. It really is. If you're doing it right, it is a really good workout. The only other thing I had. So I don't know if I mentioned it last week on a podcast. I am divorcing myself from the fucking Apple Watch.
What?
Yes. So here's the thing. I wanted an Apple Watch. Like we came from a world where where you're still in that world, where having like electronics and shit like that into certain areas you can't is verboten. So
yeah, which sucks.
So you like having a watch like that really wasn't. You're only wearing it like half the day if you're lucky. So it wasn't really a thing. And then when I finally was able to get myself an Apple Watch and be able to wear it, I really enjoyed it. But this is how either OCD, call it what you will. I never got used to the square.
Oh, really?
The biggest problem with the Apple Watch is the fact that it's a fucking square.
Yeah.
I could not. I mean, I had different watch faces on it. I had all this other stuff to try and like basically trick myself into believing that I could withstand this fucking square watch. And after a couple years, I finally got to a point where I was like, you know what? I have a couple extra dollars. I'm going back. I'm going back to a Garmin because I can't do it anymore.
Huh. All because of the shape of the watch head.
All because of the shape of the watch. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty fucking ridiculous. So I'm, back on the Garmin. It's solar powered. It's got this battery will be good for 21 more days.
Okay.
If I do nothing.
Right.
Because it's solar powered. So as long as I spend some time outside, it's good to go. And it doesn't do everything an Apple Watch do. Apple Watches are fucking amazing machines.
Oh, I love mine. Absolutely love it.
They really, really are. If the motherfucker was round, I would never own another watch. I just wouldn't.
Right.
But the fact that I've been pining over other watches ever since getting the Apple Watch just because of the fucking shape. That's how ridiculous I am, people. If you didn't have any idea and you're just listening to this podcast, this is how ridiculous I am.
Yeah, and of course you mentioned too the fact that you can't wear them in restricted areas because they're Wi-Fi and everything. So yeah, that kind of fucks me over for where I work and what I do. So the only time I really wear my watch now is whenever I'm doing some sort of physical fitness, either working out in the gym or running. I fucking love it for running. Like I'll never do a run outside without it. Yeah, because it's great to have because you can play all your music from it. You can download your music from your phone to your watch. Yep. And if you got AirPods, and if you have AirPods or something, you don't even need to have your phone near you. You just got your fucking watch, your AirPods. You got everything you fucking need. Yep. And so I do that in the gym and when I'm running, and I couldn't live without it.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of those things. I don't disparage on it for being an amazing machine. It really is, and I was looking at it. I was thinking about selling it, but I might not. I'm going to wait a little bit because it's a fully functional. There's nothing wrong with this thing whatsoever. Yeah. It's just it's square. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
It's too funny. He's drawn his line in the sand, people.
I did, and I fucking acted on it.
Nope.
So there you go. Where's Ivo?
Oh, that's it for your week, huh?
That's it. I'm done.
All right.
I'm lucky I came up with that much bullshit.
So are we just ready to get right into it then?
I think so.
All right, we are going to have to take a break at some point.
Oh, I agree.
We can keep rolling right into the main topic, and that is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yes. 40 years. 40 motherfucking years. So June 12th, 1981 is when this bad boy came out. And, we're talking the first year of MTV. We're talking a year removed from Empire Strikes Back, but 2 years before Return of the Jedi. And here we are, fucking 40 years later. So, so much to get into. Why don't we talk about who's behind this gem of a movie when it comes to, first of all, George Toy Boy Lucas, the godfather of the Star Wars universe.
Right.
Actually, he wrote the story. Now, he didn't write the screenplay, but he came up with the story for this. Directed by Steven Spielberg, obviously. And the screenplay is the thing that I really was surprised by, because I don't know if I ever knew this, but it was written by Lawrence Kasdan,
right?
Who wrote Empire Strikes Back, who wrote The Force Awakens, and who wrote Solo: A Star Wars Story.
Yep.
So Lawrence Kasdan really knows Harrison Ford well.
Yeah.
When it comes to his character, because he wrote Empire, which that was Han Solo's movie. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, he was a main focus of that movie, aside from Luke and Jedi training and whatnot. But and then of course The Force Awakens, which was the Han Solo movie of the new trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course he wrote Solo. So Lawrence Kasdan knows Harrison Ford very well, and he knows kind of how to write good dialogue and a good story for him. And I think he really, I don't know if this is like Lawrence Kasdan being infatuated with him or playing into his ego, but there are so many times where there's like women throwing themselves all over fucking Harrison Ford, especially throughout this first fucking movie.
Right.
Where when he's teaching in the school, right? We got a very early on scene where he's teaching to the fucking, it's a college, right? It's not a high school.
Yeah, it's a college.
Yeah.
He's a professor.
Where all the girls are just like, oh.
Yeah.
As he's talking, and the one girl has like, I love you written on her fucking eyelids. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Was that really a thing that happened in those fucking days?
I can't imagine that being a thing, but
I can't either. But
I can see
that's the level of infatuation, though.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's some sort of latent homosexual desires that Lawrence Kasdan had towards Harrison Ford, but he.
Well, I mean, I don't know if there's a spot in here where we would talk about it, so I'll just mention that the idea that this is Indiana Jones is a analog to James Bond. This is the American version of James Bond. This adventurer, this playboy, like this seemingly like nondescript person in his Clark Kent outfit, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Kristen actually made that same analogy when we were watching it last night. She's like, he's got a real sort of Clark Kent Superman thing going on. He's got
the glasses on. But all those broads see through that shit. They're like, oh, okay, this guy's got something going on behind all that. As much as he's trying to play off on it. Yeah. And the idea that some fucking college professor that's an archaeologist, which, by the way, if you watch the honest trailer for the Jones trilogy, it talks about how
I've seen that.
He's the worst archaeologist. He's so bad. He's so bad at being an archaeologist. He steals shit. He fucking destroys tombs. It's pretty fucking hilarious.
Oh, that's good.
And he's not a very good archaeologist. I mean, obviously he's very well versed in whatever it is that he's doing, but I don't think anybody in their right mind would have picked archaeology as this is your adventure career. You would have handed them a fucking broom and had them talking to fucking rocks, because that's about they had the personality level for.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, what we like to do when we talk about movies is sort of get into our history with these movies. So I figured we'll talk a little bit about our original experiences watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, what we remember from those times. So for me, I was always aware of it. I knew it existed, and there came a point where it came on regular play on either the movie channel, which was the one pay movie channel that we had in my house growing up, or it got some syndication play and cable. But I caught bits and pieces of it through over the course of a couple of years as a kid,
right,
in the early 80s. And it was the Indiana Jones movies were never that high on my radar. I was a huge, super fucking Star Wars fan, but the Indiana Jones stuff, I knew of Harrison Ford. I liked him as Han Solo. I heard Indiana Jones was a good character. I knew a lot of people liked him, but it was never something that really did anything for me. And I remember watching Raiders of the Lost Ark as a kid, being entertained at points, but it was not my thing. And before you and I went and saw it with our friend the John over in Philly, which we're going to talk about that experience, I hadn't seen any of that movie in fucking 20 something years.
Wow.
And that time, honestly, when the three of us sat and watched that, was probably the first time I had ever watched it from start to finish with no interruptions.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's an absolute amazing.
And well, what's even more amazing is the fact that I don't think I've seen more than a couple of minutes of Last Crusade. And I've seen probably about a third to a half of Temple of Doom. Wow. Yeah. So again, not that I have anything against them. I'm not like some big anti-Indiana Jones, like fuck those movies. It's just, it never really registered for me. And I never went out of my way to go see them.
Doesn't Ben love Indiana Jones?
He does. And that's the other thing I was going to say. I have seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull all the way through, start to finish.
Right.
Because last year, during the pandemic, we were all fucking stuck at home. Ben was going fucking crazy. And he really, really wanted to watch the movie with me. I'm like, okay, Ben, let's watch it. So we watched Kingdom of the Crystal Skull from start to fucking finish last summer during the pandemic. And I didn't hate it, but I don't really have a whole lot to compare it to besides Raiders.
Yes, therein lies the problem, because you have this idea of what Indiana Jones is, but you don't have this fanatical level of like, okay, here's the original trilogy. This is the Kingdom of Crystal Skull to me is like how people were with the prequels to the original trilogy.
Okay.
It's like, how dare you?
But
how dare you, sir?
Didn't you say you haven't seen that either?
I didn't. Yes, but that was a conscious like effort. It's not because it wasn't available, and not because I just didn't get around to it. It was I saw the trailer. It made my fucking dick soft, and I moved on and continued on the rest of my life without ever having fucking seen it.
Okay, so I mean, and you know that they're currently filming the 5th movie, right? Harrison Ford is coming back again, and they're making a 5th Indiana Jones movie. Do you feel the same way about that as you felt about Crystal Skull? Okay,
I'm not going to see it.
Right.
I will watch the original trilogy, and that's all. Like everything else will be dead to me. I'm glad that Indiana Jones or that Harrison Ford he's been able to stick with this brand. Like Harrison Ford himself has been more true to the Indiana Jones brand than he has to the Han Solo brand.
Sure.
Because I think he truly enjoyed being Indiana Jones much more than he you hear the rumors about how much he really didn't like being Han Solo, didn't like all the fucking fans and all the other shit. Whereas with, I think Indiana Jones more fit his personality profile.
Sure.
Even though they were kind of the same character, I think, putting on a fedora and fucking, taking off on adventures. I mean, he's an adventure guy, right? Harrison Ford is.
Well, yeah, he's the guy who was, got in that plane crash, 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, in his 70s, crashes an experimental airplane in a fucking at a golf course.
Right, which, by the way, he is now 78 years old. He turns 79 next month.
And good on him for still working. That's amazing. But yeah, I'm an original trilogy for Indiana Jones kind of guy.
Okay, fair enough. So what else about you and your history?
So
before we move on,
same with you with the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was something that caught on cable, like I think was rented at one point in our house, but wasn't like. It was, hey, Han Solo's doing this movie, and then saw bits and pieces of it because there's some parts that are like if you're a kid, you figure how old were we in '81? Like,
well, in 81, I was 5 or 6.
by the time this came out on VHS, it was probably by 6.
By the time this
came out on VHS, it was probably by 82, right?
Yeah.
Because back in those days, it wasn't like, oh, hey, by the way, it's going to be out on digital in 6 months. No. It's going to be out on VHS when they've done ringing it out of the fucking movie theater.
Right, which sometimes movies would have a theatrical run of a year or longer.
So you could be waiting a long time to get the video.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say that if I saw it, it was probably around the same time I saw Return of the Jedi. They're having a really weird conversation in the chat right now.
Yeah, they're talking about turkey burgers and vegan burgers in the chat. I'm like, where did this come from?
Sidebar. So I looked down momentarily. I saw that one of our listeners suffers from the gout, and that turned into like not being able to eat red meat. And then there's this whole conversation about different meats. The chat's where it's at, people. Go to our YouTube channel, search for the Sidebar Cantina, and jump in on the chat, because it's obviously they're not listening to the show. They're having their own, they're doing their own thing.
Which I love that. So
yeah, that's fucking amazing. And I'll catch up on it later.
Mm-hmm.
Temple of Doom was really the first one that I saw, like where I could say I sat down to watch the movie, and I watched it all the way through. And I enjoyed Temple of Doom. I thought it was a good movie. I think if you're ordering the trilogy, if you're asking me to do that, I think I'd put Raiders kind of in the middle of where Raiders is slightly better than Temple of Doom. But for me, my movie is The Last Crusade.
And I hear that a lot. I hear Last Crusade is the empire of this trilogy.
It's really weird, because you think about the time frame, right? Last Crusade came out in 1989.
So pretty big gap.
Temple of Doom was in 84.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about a 5-year span where Harrison Ford aged a little bit, but not as much. Like, so if you look at Indy in 81 to where he was in 89, you can tell he aged a little bit, but still did so much of the stunt work and all the stuff that was going on, which, oh, by the way, again, they mentioned in the honest trailers, and it's 100% true. The real set pieces and the real effects that were happening through a lot of these movies is stuff that they would never do now. Like, all that shit would be CGI. Now,
sure.
Granted, can some of it be better? Yeah, face melting and shit like that.
Yeah, and we'll talk about it.
But the real effects are what they are. But for me, like, Last Crusade just had a different, like, there was not as much grit as Temple of Doom. Like, it was a little bit more refined. Maybe that has something to do with Sean Connery being there. Maybe it's because it's been a few years since the other ones came out. But Last Crusade is damn near a perfect movie to me. I put it in notes. That is on my top 10 non-Star Wars movies.
Okay.
Last Crusade. I love Sean Connery in it. I love Harrison Ford. I love their interactions between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's they're chasing the Grail with the Grail Diary and everything else. It is one of my all-time favorites. And to me, it encapsulates this era of Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas after that, it became The Search for More Money.
So I have a couple of things to say to kind of piggyback on what you were saying. First of all, Temple of Doom. I remember when that came out. I remember a lot of the buzz and everything going on. Again, not high on my radar, but the thing that I remember the most about it is somehow I came into possession of a coloring book as the Temple of Doom hype was going on. And one page that I'll never forget was them going to eat monkeys' brains. Yeah. And you could color in the table of monkeys' brains that are out on display. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this movie?
That was Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Like, it had that weird, gruesome shit every once in a while.
Mm.
Fucking reaching into somebody's chest and pulling their heart out. What? Yeah. I'm 9 years old. What are you doing to me?
Yeah. So that being said, if we want to do this for the podcast, I would be willing to watch Temple of Doom and Last Crusade at some point in the future and, give my gut response to those. Because, again, I've never been opposed to this genre, this series. It's just I've had other things, other priorities, so I never got around to it. But I'm more than willing to watch these and give my response here on the podcast.
Right. No,
so
I 100% want to do that. And I don't want to wait till the 40th anniversary of fucking Temple of Doom.
No, I mean, we can pencil those in for later this year if we want. Which, by the way, so
got a lot of movies happening this year.
Oh, I know.
There's a lot of anniversaries this year.
True.
For our old asses.
So I don't know. Did you even rewatch this time around? Okay.
I didn't need to.
Well, for anybody who does want to watch any of the Indiana Jones movies or the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, they're all on Paramount Plus right now, which we happen to have a subscription to because Kristen watches fucking women's soccer on there. I guess that's where you get to watch all the current women's soccer league action. Yay! Right. But they have all of the Indiana Jones movies on there and the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which I know nothing about, but I know it's also really liked by the hardcore fans.
I think Kathy has got me completely like reprogrammed to be so anti like other streaming services. Like I don't want to get one more streaming service for something I have the DVDs for.
Right.
But with this 40th anniversary release, I think they pushed out like some new 4K like
options. Like Blu-rays or something.
Yeah, so there's like a new movie package that you can go and get. Some Instagram model was who does cosplay. She had dressed up as, what did she dress up as? It was Indiana Jones. Yeah, it was because she had the fedora on and everything else. Like,
okay.
Like I've sent you pictures of this broad before.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Enough said.
But yeah, she was advertising for this the release for this thing. So I'm sure she was gaining some financial benefit from it, and good on her. Good for you.
So before we take a break, let's talk about our experience watching Raiders in Philadelphia with our good friend, the John, and the orchestra experience. So this was probably like 5 or 6 years ago now, right? When did we start All Things Star Wars?
4 years ago.
Okay.
It was 4 years ago in May.
So it was probably a year before that, or like within the year before we started that.
That makes sense. Yeah, because he was in town from Florida. Like he flew up specifically.
Oh, he hadn't moved up to Jersey yet. Okay. Right. So yeah, about 5 years ago, they were playing in Philadelphia, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh, it was probably for the 35th anniversary.
Probably.
So yeah, but it was with a live orchestra.
Yes.
So the caveat was you were watching it on the big screen, but anytime the music would come on, the live orchestra would play.
Yes.
And of course, it's John Williams, the great John fucking Williams.
Now,
so
it was the Philadelphia Orchestra, but it was not conducted by John Williams.
No,
we saw it. Just to put that out there.
Right.
Because if that was the case, I probably would have died from the erection that I would have had.
Yeah. So it was the John Williams score performed by the Philly Pops Orchestra as we were watching the movie, and it was fucking brilliant. Oh, it was so good.
We saw a Star Wars movie too.
Well, no, we saw it was the John Williams experience in the same theater.
That's right.
Where it was like the light show and everything.
Yeah, I saw they did it at the outdoor the Man. They did it at the Man.
Yeah, I saw it outdoors. I think that happened while I was down
south.
Yeah,
you were down south. But it's I think we hit on a little bit last week. We were talking about our 80s stuff, and like I love classical music, and taking like movie scores are Beethoven. Like John Williams is our fucking Beethoven.
Yeah,
he is our
much.
Mozart.
Yeah.
That we can say that we lived through.
Yeah.
And these operas, for lack of a better thing, and are representations and give us our best opportunity to have this experience. And when you have the live music, like I spent more time watching the orchestra than I did the movie.
I remember like constantly looking back and forth. And let's face it, like John Williams, you can put John Williams music in front of anything. You could put John Williams music on top of two transgenders fucking a goat, and I'd be like, ooh, I'm into this. I want to see where this goes. So the guy is fucking the most brilliant musical mind we've seen since the likes of Beethoven and Mozart. So, but yeah, that experience watching the movie as you have a live orchestra playing the fucking score.
Yeah.
And like you can't replicate that. It was incredible.
It was amazing. And I've been pining for that experience ever since. Hence getting to see it It was Jedi too, I think. I'm pretty sure it was Jedi. It might have been. Maybe it was New Hope. Fuck my memory.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
When I saw it at the Man while you were away.
Oh.
Anyway, motherfuckers.
Anyway, Dave got lost in a thought. So
it happens.
So yeah, that was, and to go back to it, that was the first time I had sat down and watched the movie start to finish, I think ever in my life. And it was a great way to do it, I'll say. So
yeah, unfortunately, that's not something that you're going to be able to get again.
No, probably not. Not until like the 50th anniversary comes around. So when we're not in a pandemic, as long as the next fucking big virus doesn't come around.
Yeah.
Like, how many good shows were we robbed of from this fucking virus?
I don't want to even think about it. We should have already saw a fucking Top Gun.
Oh, God damn it. Right. So, okay. Before we get into the movie itself, I think this is a great time to take a break.
Okay.
And be right back after this word from our sponsors.
I hope that comes across the microphones.
The squeaking?
Yeah. Nice. So you guys like the shirt? Oh man. Oh, it did. Thank you. Let me see if we can catch up here in the chat. Oh, thank you, Scott. The VHS release of Raiders was November of '83. That makes that checks. That makes sense. So I feel like I saw it in Return of the Jedi around the same time. 500,000 copies were made, priced at $40. Man, we are so spoiled. We are so fucking spoiled to have such unprecedented access to everything. It's insanity. It really is. Oh, what was this? When's Jason going to talk about his ET experience? What? Somebody,
I've already talked about it multiple times on the show.
Yeah,
where I almost killed that fucking guy in the theater.
How did we sell 2 T-shirts? I don't see that. Why don't I see that? Is it because I own the account? What
do you mean?
Luna Girl says we sold 2 shirts already.
How does she know?
Exactly. That's what I'm asking. You're going the wrong way.
How do they know what way we're going?
I'm going to...
The main reason I needed to take a break was so I could make another drink.
I could have just done that on the air.
It's not professional.
Yeah, whatever.
I always think of that. It's like a meme video. The lady is like on a cooking show or something, and we'll just do a shot of vodka. It was more than a shot, but that's what I think every time I pour some. Got a little bit of lime in there. Riveting, I know.
Man, I really wish I was really retired. It's so nice out today. In fucking meetings.
Yep.
Mother of pearl. Cowboy Ted, I think she got the coffee and other small errands while working with Spielberg. Yeah, she probably was working Spielberg.
Oh, yeah. No, we're talking about Kennedy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, she was fucking all of them. I guarantee it.
I want to know how she knows we sold 2 shirts. I'm upset that I can't see this information. You could right now. Oh, it says 2 designs sold. Oh, interesting.
Let me, as a person who is not logged in or has any access to this account, what is it? T Public?
Yeah.
T Public. The sidebar.
T Public. What? Here.
English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
Apparently not. Hang on a sec. I'm going to go into the...
TeePublic is the name of the site, though, right?
Yes.
All right. Then I'm just going to search Sidebar Cantina
podcast.
Just calm down.
Well, one thing TeePublic is not good at is making shit findable. They show you the shit that they want you to see, not necessarily what you're looking for.
Oh, well, see, I see our tank tops, which I need to get one of those. Sold by Hermogenics Point of View podcast.
No.
Okay, so that took me to the old Gen X POV. Sidebar Cantina.
Oh, we need to put the link to the show notes. Mm-hmm. Link in the show notes. Actually, I could do that right now. Account, storefront. I'm going to drop it in the notes.
Yeah, everything I'm finding is from the old Gen X POV.
Yeah, because you're not here. Scroll up in the notes.
Aha.
Woo-hoo-hoo! I just saw Chappelle Show.
All right, there it is. Now, as somebody who's not logged in, how can you see how many have been sold?
Scroll up. Oh, it doesn't see. What I see is there's a bar across the top that says...
there's mugs.
Oh, yeah, dude. I went to full Monty. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it big enough where it could make it into a fucking wall art. But I think we could even have a tapestry with it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's pretty spectacular. Yeah, because I'm logged in as the account holder, it'll tell me that there's 2 designs sold.
But it doesn't, though, right?
It does for me.
Oh, it does tell you that it's sold too. Okay.
Yeah, but when I go into our storefront,
mm-hmm.
like via that way to see how many we've sold, it doesn't have one yet. So I don't know. Whatever. I love the fact that somebody is going to... My wife's boss, like Kathy told her about this, and she made me send her a text with the picture so her boss could see it. And then she said her boss would buy a t-shirt of that.
Oh my gosh.
That's fucking hilarious. My daughter, who apparently needed some cheering up yesterday, she fucking, I said, oh, this is what I've been working on. So I sent her the picture and she's like, oh my fucking God. I was like, yeah, you can get it on a t-shirt. And she's like, if you wear that on a t-shirt in front of me, I'm going to throw up on you. It's fucking great. Oh, exactly what, I mean, honestly, it's
pretty disturbing.
It's a train wreck, man.
Yeah, it's very disturbing.
You can't turn away.
Not gonna lie. All right. We ready to get back to it?
Yeah.
All right. Give me a countdown and we will resume.
Ready? Go.
And we're back. So, one other thing that we need to talk about before we get into the movie breakdown itself is there was a bit of a quote-unquote controversy because we live in 2021 now where there is an endless amount of pathetic fucking losers on Twitter who have nothing better to do with their time than to go try to find problematic aspects of any old piece of entertainment, pop culture, what have you, and then make a big fucking deal out of it when there's really nothing there, or it's just a product of a different time and you just need to chill the fuck out. Yeah. And they've now done it with Raiders of the Lost Ark. So there was a story recently, within the last week, probably to coincide with the 40th anniversary and all that, about specifically what some people are claiming are pedophilia aspects to the Indiana Jones character when it comes to Marion. because when he finds her in the bar in Nepal and they're having their back and forth and she's like, I was a child. It's like, you knew what you were doing. Right. So a lot of people equate that to him as still an adult taking advantage of some fucking adolescent or whatever, where it's so fucking stupid, which, you know, you could say an 18 or a 19-year-old is a child, right? Because quite frankly, if you're under the age of, say, 30, you don't know shit about shit. I'm sorry to say. But
well, and this came out in the 81.
Yeah.
Right. We are in 81. We are 5 years removed from the end of the Vietnam War.
Right.
Okay. You had a generation of adults that had gone through World War II, right? Had the next generation of people who were involved in Vietnam and everything else. It was such a different mentality just for a movie that is taking place in the past.
In the 30s.
In the 30s.
Yeah.
So the idea that, like, the terminology has nothing to do with the fact that this person was an actual, like, adolescent.
Right.
Because there's a difference between, like, a child and for lack of it, not necessarily the legal definition of an adult. Because back in those days, in the fucking 70s, guess what they could do at 18? They could drink at 18.
Yeah.
That was the drinking age. Like, their whole idea of what an adult was completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And to fast forward into that, now we just don't feel that way. Like, we're not sending our 18-year-olds to we're not drafting them into a war. We're not sending them to go fight battles. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the idea that a 16-year-old who is lying about their age to go into and fight a war, like, is a child.
Right.
Right. By the definition, by somebody's definition, it is a child. And it just, I think there's a huge continuity error for what the actual words meant in 1981 than what they do today. And it's not like this is like a young Jyn Erso is being fucking violated by this older person.
Right.
This is two people having a conversation about, like, their interactions, which it doesn't get into detail about a level of intimacy or anything else. I mean, even the nature of a romantic relationship in the fucking 30s when this was going to take place was completely different. Holding hands in public, like, oh my God, fucking throw holy water on them because they're obviously going to hell.
Yeah.
Like, it's people that want to say that this is a real thing are just looking for anything.
Well, and that's what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing, because that's how you get social clout now, is you get on Twitter and you find something that you can, like, scream down at, be like, oh, look how terrible and problematic this is, and fucking cancel. And that's how this fucking generation operates now.
I want to see, this would be the perfect storm for me, right? And this isn't to bring up a political discussion, but this is more to emphasize a point. Caitlyn Jenner, right? Who's, I don't know, is officially running for governor of California or has talked about running for governor of California. Either way, right? What if Caitlyn Jenner ran as a Republican?
Well, that's what she would run as.
Is she?
If she runs for governor of California, it will be as a Republican.
People are going to lose.
Much like Arnold did.
People are going to lose their fucking minds.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. I think she's going to, if she was going to do it, it would be as an independent.
Okay. That would probably make more sense from
right. But think about that, though. Just even if she was running as a Republican, what would people do? Like, people that have decided to be so divisive about everything. And now let's put this person who is this poster child of change and acceptance and put them running in a party that you like, and people have fucking said that these people are the devil, basically. Right. And now take this person who has been this poster child for you and now put them on the other team. What are you going to do? Their fucking heads would explode.
Pretty much.
Because what are we going to cancel? You're going to cancel her? What are you going to find about her?
Mm-hmm.
I just, or him or whatever. Like, people have too much of a voice. They just do, or they really think that their voice is important when it really isn't.
Right, and it's why I've been off Twitter for like a year now, and I do not miss it whatsoever. I will never go back. It's nothing but fucking cancer, and again, it's people looking for attention. It's pathetic fucking losers whose lives are so awful that they look for some sort of validation through all of these outrageous statements on fucking Twitter.
That's all it is statements, because there's never anything that says, okay, here's this thing that we think is so wrong. Here's what we do to fucking make this better.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having a plan and actually finding a problem and making it better, what they're doing is just getting louder about it. Like, that's their answer.
Right.
Well, we're gonna really mad. Okay. Is that helping anything? No, but I'm going to really mad about it.
Yeah.
And then you suck for calling me out on that.
Right.
Okay.
But unfortunately, a lot of it's working, because then you get situations like what happened with Gina Carano. It's fucking losers like this that raise a stink. And if enough of them pile on, then it actually does some shit like that, which, fucking infuriating.
To break away from this, Bronco Fett, for those of you who are listening to the podcast and not enjoying this on the YouTube, Bronco Fett wants the Jason drawing on a mask so that when somebody fucking whines at him about it, he can put that mask on. Like, look at this. Look at it.
That would be funny.
Horrific.
So the last thing I have to say about that particular topic was, in a recent interview over the last week, again, doing 40th anniversary promotion, the actress Karen Allen, who played Marion, came out and defended the movie and defended or against these fucking Twitter hacks.
Right.
Basically say, look, it was left very ambiguous. She said she envisioned it being like she was like 16, 17 when, whatever happened between those two happened. So calm the fuck down. Everything's good.
Yeah.
So
that's not going to be good enough, because what does she know?
Right. Well, I mean, she was there.
She was only the person that was actually the actress playing that particular role.
Yeah.
But what would she know? Obviously.
Yep. So anyway, I just figured we should address that, since that's been in the news recently, before we actually get into the movie itself.
So I think about all that.
So, as always, I have some notes that I took as I watched the movie itself.
As always, he has a page upon page of notes, and I have bupkis.
Yep. That's our dynamic.
It's all in here.
So I don't know if you have anything that you want to start with, or I want you to roll right into it.
With it.
All right. So we start off where he's going through the jungle with, we don't know where he's going. Well, we do, but I mean, as the ignorant viewer, he's got a couple of cronies with him, and one of the guys that he's with is the actor Alfred Molina. And every time I see him, every time I watch the scene, I'm like, oh, Dr. Octopus, because Alfred Molina played Dr. Octopus in the second Spider-Man movie from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. And it's funny because I guess he's a pretty accomplished actor. He's done a lot of things. I didn't know him for shit before that Spider-Man movie. And I remember as the hype was building up for that movie, everybody's like, oh my God, Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus. This is going to be great. I'm like, who? So that was the first time I really knew him as an actor. And then when we went back and watched Raiders for that Philly Pops thing, I'm like, oh, it's Dr. Octopus, Alfred Molina. That's where I know that guy. So
cultured swine.
Yeah. So anyway, that was like the first note that I had in my notes. I had the fact that it takes place in 1936, which, by the way, I think is one of the reasons why these movies will really stand the test of time, because I like the fact that they take place in that kind of narrow time frame,
right,
in a place in the past, and they were made for the most part where they didn't need a whole lot of special effects. Mm-hmm. So for now until the end of time, these movies will kind of be timeless, and you'll always get that same viewing experience watching them, which, with Star Wars and things like that, effects change and all of that.
My exclamation point to that comment is at fucking Universal. When you can go and you have that Indiana Jones fucking, like, you go through the entirety, like they have this whole drama play out with the fucking airplane blowing up and there's all this fucking shit happening, and it's a great show. Yeah. Really, really good show. And it's because there's practical effects with the explosions and everything else, and well-rehearsed actors and stunt people that are doing all this stuff, and you can get into it. Something that would be really tough to emulate or really expensive to emulate with a Star Wars movie.
Yeah. So he's going through this, this cave or whatever. It's got all these fucking booby traps and everything. So one movie that I did watch a lot back in the 80s that wasn't Raiders of the Lost Ark, but had a parody of that in it was UHF, the Weird Al Yankovic movie.
Yeah.
If you remember. So the entire time as he's going through this opening sequence, that's all I can think about is fucking UHF. When he's doing like the sand with the fucking gold thing. And I just remember Weird Al's like starting to do that bit, and he just like throws the sand and just grabs the thing and walks away. And then with the boulder chasing him and everything, all I can think about is like fucking UHF.
Yeah. There's so many video games and other shit that like, has had the ball rolling. Fact is, I play Mario Kart on the phone, right? And there's a pinball thing that you're in, and there's a fucking pinball rolling at you all the time. And every time I get this image, it flashes me back to fucking Raiders when he's getting chased by the ball. It's just it's one of those, like in UHF and other movies have done it too, where they kind of reach back to like this element of like, here's a chase scene where the thing chasing you is completely inanimate. Like, it's just a fucking giant sphere rolling.
Yeah.
And yet there's all this level of drama and the intensity of the music and everything else. It's great. It's great.
Yep. So as this first 5 minutes is going, how many times does Indy get fucking betrayed or double crossed throughout these first few minutes? There were the two guys with him. They both turned on him at one point. Alfred Molina, who went with him in the cave, eventually fucking turned on him and took the fucking gold head and like beat feet out of there, only to get fucking smashed by one of the booby traps. But and then he gets out, and then the one guy, his fucking arch nemesis, what was the guy's name? Balak?
No idea.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Balak is out there waiting for him. It's like, fuck, dude.
Barack Obama.
Yeah, so like how I don't know. I don't know if he is just too trusting of people or what, but he has a real problem with the people that are close to him. There was a really funny moment where they were going through the cave initially, him and Alfred Molina, and like all those fucking spiders were on them, and I'm like, fuck
spiders. Fuck spiders.
Yeah. It reminded me of a time I was in Costa Rica. I think I've told you this story before, but I was down in Costa Rica with our old unit, right? And you remember Joe Burkle? I was there with him, and we're walking around at the all-inclusive place in Costa Rica, and we're just, hanging out, doing whatever. We just gotten done drinking, and I felt like somebody like slapped me on the back. I thought it was Joe. I thought he's like, hey, I'm like, what was that about? And I look over at him, and he's over there. He's like way far away from me, like over an arm's length away from me. And he's just staring at my back, like wide-eyed. I'm like, what? He's like, dude, there's something on your back. It was like a dragonfly that was like this big, or like some kind of a massive fucking insect that was like the length of my fucking forearm and hand. And he's like, I'm like, dude, get it off. And he's like, and it was this whole fucking ordeal. And
take off a flip flop, fucking started beating you with it.
Yeah. So that scene with the spiders reminds me of that time I was in Costa Rica and I had the fucking 10-inch bug laying on my back.
I don't even want to get into fucking. You lost most of the audience at All Inclusive in Costa Rica for work.
Yeah, I know, we're so spoiled. So I thought those natives that were with Balak, they're basically like stormtroopers, because there was like 100 of them, and they're throwing fucking spears and shooting fucking darts at Indiana Jones as he's running away. Not a goddamn one hit him. Yeah. And I thought it was pretty funny as he's running towards the plane. He's like, start the plane!
The notes of John Williams' music protects him. It cases him in something so that he doesn't get hit.
Yeah,
obviously.
That's got to be it. So, and then of course we have Snakes on a Plane, the first version, where he's on the plane and there's a fucking snake, and the dude's like, don't worry about it.
He's constantly, like, in all these movies, he's pulling snakes out of places that you just don't want to have a snake.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck snakes.
So this is a Jamie pull it up moment too. He gets back to the States, and Coleman from Trading Places is like, hey, we got some stuff going on.
Marcus Brody.
Right. And somewhere in the conversation, Indy said, "Hey, I just need $2,000 and I can go on this thing." So I'm thinking, okay, this is 1936.
Right.
Like, how much money was $2,000 in 1936? So, like, somebody in the chat, look that up for us. How much was 1936 dollars? How much would that be worth today?
Been like 18 grand, something like
that. At least. It's got to be a lot.
Yeah.
So I really took note of that. I'm like, fuck, how much is that in fucking today's money? So, okay. That was something else I meant to look up too. The two guys from fucking Army Intelligence, was the fat guy, was that Porkins? That
yeah, I think it was. I think we did a Star Wars episode and we actually brought that up with Porkins. Hang on. I will look that up while Jamie's looking up the other thing. Porkins, Indiana Jones. Hey, look at that. Fucking obviously Google's listening. Let's see. William Michael William Michael fucking hell. William Michael Hookins. I can't believe that's a real name. Was an American actor, best known for his supporting roles in Hollywood blockbusters such as Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Batman. Oh
yeah, that's right. He was Eckhart in Batman.
Yep.
Think about the future. Blow.
Yep.
So
that's
yeah,
really funny.
Yeah, so he was one of the two Army Intelligence guys.
Died at age 57.
Go figure. Yeah, I'm shocked.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Not at all.
Oh wait, no, he was just fat. Never
right.
Yeah. I'm fat too.
So Jamie in the chat, also known as Scott from the Used and Abused podcast, said that $2,000 in 1936 is the equivalent to $38,733 today
and 9 cents. Like if Jamie is going to be so specific, aka Scott in chat, yeah, we might as well 9 cents.
Yeah, which is fucking crazy. That's a lot of money. Like, what the fuck was he doing with all that money?
I don't know.
It's like, well, I need a lot of blow. I'm gonna need some hookers when I get to Nepal.
Well, it makes you wonder, like, an airplane ride to get that far probably was ridiculous. Oh my god, where did that yawn come from? Holy shit!
Well, and Kristen actually asked the question too as we were watching. She's like, "Was there commercial airline travel in 1936?" I'm like, "Well, I would assume so."
Yeah, there was, but it was very like you were taking float planes to get fucking.
Well, and you see that in this fucking movie, the fucking prop jobs with the 4 engines, and it couldn't have been a comfortable ride going across the Pacific Ocean.
You're on a PBY with fucking like very basic radio technology and dead reckoning for fucking. Yeah, no.
I couldn't imagine those fucking days of air travel. Holy shit, dude.
I can't imagine being in a fucking airplane with there's no HF, no satellite, no GPS.
Yeah.
You're doing dead reckoning from the stars like you're on a fucking boat. You're just going faster. And
not much probably in those days.
I mean, it's still like physics are physics, right? Sure. You still need to be going so fast to fucking get an airplane in the air, but you
weren't doing fucking California to Hawaii in 4.5 hours. I guarantee that.
Fuck no. Let me see. Let me see. Air travel in 1936.
Yeah, it was probably super fucking expensive. Slow as shit. Probably uncomfortable. Did they have weather radar back then? Or was it just like all visual? Like, I see some clouds in front of us. We should probably go left a little bit.
No, radar was something that was developed. Well, I mean, beginning of World War II, I think they had some early radar technology, but it was still very, very not something that you were going to stick in the nose of an airplane like you do now.
Right.
Like the weather radar we have now is like fucking redonkulous compared to shit. The weather radar we used to fucking fly with in the 135. Remember that aren't like. You came in a 135 late, so you had
we still had a few with the old school fucking
the fucking orange. The orange ones with the hoods.
Oh yeah,
like fuck that, man. That's what we had on the fucking white jet. Yeah. We had the orange fucking scope. But the navigator's like putting a hood on, and you're trying to like. I remember this. Do you remember Jim Bell?
Yeah.
Right. So we're on the fucking runway down at somewhere, and there's thunderstorms on either end of the runway. So we're taxiing back and forth, and this is back when we had navigators, and we're taxiing from one end of the runway to the other, angling this fucking archaic radar up into the sky to see if we could paint an opening to take off in. Well, fucking ass ton of passengers, fucking just taxiing from one end of the runway to the other, and then finally just like, fuck it, and went. Dude, oh my God, if we didn't get the shit fucking absolutely beat out of us.
I would imagine.
Yeah, for the fucking 0.7. Oh my God, it was fucking horrific. But yeah, that old ass fucking orange screen radar that you see in movies. Anyway.
So this is the Dave and Jason rant about air travel. And
in the beginning of the 1930s, the Ford Trimotor was one of the planes used for commercial passenger air travel. So Ford Trimotor, it was basically like a Model T of airplane traffic. Like it had 3 engines, so it could go relatively far, non-pressurized cabin. So you're doing everything below
10,000.
Well, I think back in those days, they probably put you up around 13 to 15,000.
You might feel a little lightheaded. Don't worry about it. Jesus Christ.
But probably not probably not with the Trimotor though, because it said the earliest models could have up to 17. No air circulation, smelled like fucking hot oil, metal, leather seats, and the disinfectant used to clean up after airsick passengers. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The Ford Trimotor could reach about 6,000 feet, but its climb to that altitude was slow, and the plane would surge upward, level off, bump around, and drop repeatedly before reaching cruise altitude. Fuck that.
So yeah, imagine trying to fly from the United States to fucking Nepal at 6,000 feet.
Nope.
How long would that take? Like a week?
You'd be on. I think. Looking here, like a DC-3, came out in 36, so could definitely get higher. Had sleeping models, but yeah. Now I'm engrossed in this.
I know. All right, let's refocus. Let's get back to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
One of the cool things that I think about this movie, it kind of ties in with the whole timelessness or the fact of where it takes place in time in 1936, is this whole fucking Nazi tie-in, right? Because obviously we know in the mid to late 30s and into the 40s, fucking Nazi Germany was all the rage, so to speak. they were in the news a lot.
Yeah.
I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So having that fucking tie-in, especially to this, like, right before World War II, right? Because when did he start invading all those fucking European nations? Like 38, 37?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, they started all the bullshit.
39.
Yeah, they started all the bullshit, like, right after this. So this is kind of the them ramping up. And obviously it's all fiction and it's all fantasy when it comes to, like, the Ark of the Covenant and everything.
Right.
But, it's a really interesting time to a real event that was going on in history with the Nazis kind of like building up their presence and getting ready to start a lot of fucking shit.
Yeah.
So
and you know what? Is there an easier bad guy to cast?
Oh, hell no.
Honestly, like no matter what, you're like, okay, what do we need? What do we need for bad people? Nazis, perfect. Like,
right, because in Star Wars it was like, well, we'll make the Empire, we'll have some allegories to the Nazis, right, with some of the ways the Empire presents itself. And this, they're like, no, they're going to be the actual fucking Nazis from Germany. So we're just going to go right there.
Yeah, Indiana Jones is going to dress as a Nazi several times.
Right. And oh my God, no, I'm not going to get back into the whole cancel culture thing, but I could totally see that. Oh my God, did you see what Harrison Ford wore in 1981? He was wearing a Nazi costume. Like, yeah, it was part of a movie, shithead. Anyway, he goes to Nepal, meets up with Marion, who, I don't know, what are your thoughts on her as a character? I'm really torn by her because sometimes she kind of, she comes off as an appealing, sort of independent, kind of woman, like doing her own thing. But then as soon as Indy comes back into her life, she's like constantly fucking swooning over him and just like, I don't know.
I'm not a fan.
And she's always like a damsel in distress. And Very, I don't know.
I like the character when we first meet her, but after that, yeah. It's going to be really bad. I'm going to say this.
Sure,
it's really bad. She should be more attractive. I mean, honestly.
Well, this was 81. You know, that might have been attractive back in 81.
Well, it's true. Fucking old girl from Superman somehow was seen as...
Oh, Margot Kidder. That's right. What was the first Superman? Like 82? Jamie, look that up. No, that was 79, right?
70s, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And people loved Margot Kidder. And it's like, okay.
No, I can't get there. Can't get there.
All right. Fair enough. But no, just as her character, like she was this, you know, independent bar owner, fucking didn't take shit from people. And then all of a sudden, as soon as Indiana Jones comes back into her life, she's like, oh, you know, all those scenes of them walking around fucking Cairo and she's in the dress and she's just all over him. It's like, what happened to you? You used to be cool, man.
Well, maybe she wasn't getting laid enough.
I guess not. Oh, so we're kind of bouncing around. They eventually make their way to Cairo and she gets captured. A couple of things about that whole sequence. First of all, when they grab her and they're pulling her away, she says the greatest thing that anybody's ever said. And it's, you can't do this to me. I'm an American, which I fucking love. I'm like, yes.
Yep.
That's fucking right. So, you know how I told you I saw bits and pieces of this movie as a kid? I saw the scene where she gets into the fucking basket and they fucking take her and they put her in the truck. Mm-hmm. And then Indy rolls in and he's like, oh, Marion's in that truck. Boom. Truck blows up.
Yeah.
And then I stopped watching it not long after that scene to come to the realization that, oh, she was still alive after that. Yeah. So for years as a kid, I thought that was the end of her character.
It was a classic bait and switch.
Yeah.
It really was. It's like, holy shit. Like, all right, well, her character's over. But I didn't get invested in that one. Like, oh, yeah, but later. Yeah.
Well. Right. Which, I mean, God, that would have been fucking horrible.
Been fucking epic.
What on? I got tired of waiting.
Not that we're in the middle of recording a podcast or anything.
That's why I brought it in now.
Look at this. Look at it, people. Look at it. Are you actually going to have one of these?
I'm not going to touch those.
Not at all?
So you...
Like, not even one?
Knock yourself out.
Oh, my God. Brownies. Brownies, people.
Okay, so a lot of shit happens in Cairo. This is where I kind of got lost in the movie. Not lost, but this is where they lost my attention. Was not long after they got into Cairo, because up to that point where he fucking found Marion in Nepal, and they're like, all right, come with me to Cairo and we're gonna fucking find the Ark of the Covenant and blah blah blah. I was invested. I was like, this is good. You know, these beats are happening really fast. This movie is very entertaining. Everything in Cairo was so fucking slow. It took a long fucking time for things to happen. It seemed like there were a lot of unnecessary plot devices thrown in there just to kind of string along the story. The best example is when some dude randomly comes into a fucking thing and poisons like the fucking nuts or whatever that they're eating. Mm-hmm. And the monkey fucking eats the nuts first and dies. And then that's where Salah stops Indy from eating the fucking nuts. But I mean, all of that was unnecessary. It's like, why did that have to be in there?
You do know that George Lucas was involved in this, right?
That is true. He did write the story. So, all right. I'll give you that.
Asked and answered, my friend.
Yeah, no, but the whole Cairo sequence, it was too long. It took a long time to get going. And then, of course, there was the point where they had they knew where the map room was, right? So fucking Indian Salah, they just, you know, they put on some Muslim garb and they just walk over there and they just go into the fucking map room and nobody questions them or anything until much later on. And then after he fucking, you know, puts the staff of Ra into the fucking thing and finds out where the real dig site is, they go to the dig site, which is like, say where like the Nazis and fucking the dude that fucking betrayed Indy were like digging. It's like right over there. It's like, you could see it. It's like, hey, what are you guys doing over there?
Hey, what? These guys they're strangely tall for this period of you know, yeah.
Yeah, no, and they just go right over there and just start fucking digging, and nobody's like, what's that guy over there doing? You know, who are those guys?
Because why would you?
Right.
As people that have been overseas and are very, we stand out.
Oh,
regardless of how hard we try not to.
Mm-hmm.
We fucking stand out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the idea that nobody would be paying attention to it is ludicrous.
Right.
Even especially in 1936 when, I don't know, the Nazis are fucking like really starting to like, oh, you're different than us. We don't like you. We're gonna make you uncomfortable. And we're gonna keep doing that. So now white people are synonymous with fucking like, oh, that person's not good.
Yeah. So I will say though, while we are in the whole Cairo sequence, the part where Indy goes down into the map room, he puts the fucking staff of Ra in and gets the beam of light and all that. The John Williams score in that particular scene was fucking incredible. Oh, it was on point. Just go back and watch that scene in the map room and listen to the John Williams. So fucking good.
Some of John Williams at his John Williams-ness.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
like legitimately the early 80s were fucking phenomenal when it comes to John Williams stuff.
Yeah.
You got Empire and Jedi, you've got Raiders of the Lost Ark, you've got E.T. All of these happened within a few years of each other in the fucking early 80s, and it was all brilliant.
What I find interesting though, when you're talking about John Williams, we're gonna have a whole John Williams discussion, I know, but we're talking about John Williams. There's a lot of Star Wars elements in Indiana Jones.
Sure.
Like there's a lot of crossover. Like you'll be listening to it, and for several seconds you'll realize that you recognize that from being from Star Wars, and then it goes and does its own thing. So I like how it does that.
Yeah. And I think that's just John Williams using a lot of the same instruments in his orchestrations.
I'm sure.
It's it seems the same because he uses a lot of the same, different types of instruments and tone and the way he arranges things. It's all very similar.
Yeah.
But it's all fucking great.
I'm all about it.
Yeah, I'll take it all. So I didn't really have a whole lot else for the Cairo sequence. Obviously, we get the infamous snakes scene where Indy and Marion get dropped into the fucking pit after they take out the Ark, just in time for Belloc and his boys to show up and be like, oh, we'll take this, yoink, which like happens to him throughout the course of this entire fucking movie. It's like he gets something and somebody else is right there. Oh, I'll take that.
What?
I'm just waiting for you to be done.
No, continue.
That's all right. Truncate silence will take all of this out in the audio version.
No. No special brownies. They're not special brownies. These are normal, everyday brownies.
I would imagine not, because
security clearances.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, even though it is technically legal in Jersey now.
Yeah, no, not for us.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah. All right. I didn't have a whole lot of other notes until we got to the face melting scene at the end, where they take him to some fucking island and Belloc has got to do some Jewish ritual, which I don't even understand what that was all about or why that was where they needed to go to fucking unseal this thing. It's whatever. But you get the greatest scene where some like fucking spirits come out of the Ark, and then all of a sudden just like it just melts everybody's face.
Like, oh my God. Again, this is not necessarily a movie for children.
It's fine.
Well, if you watched it, because then you watch. You know what? Never mind.
So, but the funny thing about all this is, as they were leading up to that point, Indiana Jones, or no, not Indy, but Belloc was convincing the Nazi guys, because Belloc wasn't a Nazi. He was a British guy. He was Indiana Jones's archaeology rival. He was telling the fucking Germans, like, hey, we got to open this thing first and make sure this is what your Fuhrer wants, right? So we got to make sure this thing's legit before you go and fucking open it in front of them. Whereas if they had just done that, there would have been no World War II, right?
Right.
Like if they had just like taken it straight to Hitler and fucking opened it right in front of him, and then it would have melted Hitler's face and just blah.
Like, oh, so many lives saved.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. So if they had just done that, then there'd have been
wouldn't have been a trilogy though, because then don't have these great sequences with Harrison Ford versus the Nazis.
Right. Which, by the way, so I would imagine that they're going to kind of follow the timeline along the lines of Harrison Ford's age. So since it's been 40 years, Harrison Ford,
78, you said.
Yeah, so he's 78 now. 40 years later, so this would take place in the mid 70s, right? This would take place in around 76, around the time I was born.
Well, I think I saw something with the Crystal Skull was supposed to be like in the mid 50s with the Soviets and all the other bullshit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It probably checks.
So like who would the main bad guys be in like the fucking late 60s, early 70s?
The Soviets.
Still the Soviets, you think? Okay.
I mean, it was something called the Cold War.
Yeah, I heard that was a thing.
Yeah. And you're not going to like Dave, don't say anything, but it's not like, post-Korean War, you're not going to have like the North Koreans because you're not going to do that. It's not going to be against the Vietnamese. And it's like, it's the Soviets because the Soviets are another white face to be the enemy.
Yeah.
Anyway, what?
Otherwise, after the whole face melting scene, it was a very abrupt ending after that. It was Indy and fucking Coleman having a conversation and they leave and boom, movie's over. Just like that. So yeah, very abrupt ending. Even that whole sequence where they were on that fucking island, things kind of went from going so fucking slow in Cairo to just boom. Like, we're going to fucking finish everything. It's like, fuck, we took too long in the Egypt part. We got to like hurry. We got to go. We got to finish this movie.
If only there was an editor. Kathleen Kennedy, get off your fucking knees. What?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So, but that was it. That was all the notes that I had on the movie. Overall, it was a fun movie. Mm-hmm. Again, nothing against the movie at all. Not my cup of tea per se, but it was there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm curious to watch the other two movies, Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, to kind of see what all the rest of the hype was about. But I enjoy it. And like I said, you put John Williams over fucking anything. And you could put him over dogs taking shits in fields. And I'd be like, ooh, I like this.
Yeah, I can get into this.
So
we didn't talk at all about the one sequence with the bringing a knife to a gunfight. Sequence.
Right.
So the lore that's out there, the sequence we're talking about, obviously, is when Indy pulls a gun. You have this swordsman doing all this fucking crazy shit, right? And people are all gathered around like they're going to see like fight.
Yeah.
And then, Indy pulls a gun, fucking shoots the guy, and looks around like, all right, where am I going next?
Yeah.
Which apparently was an improvisational thing because Harrison Ford had dysentery. So it was like, I can't stand here for all this shit. So I'm just going to pull out the gun and shoot the guy. And then, all right, that was fucking great. Let's go with it. But the irony of that scene, like even that little bit, is such a developmental thing with Indiana Jones because you get this in Temple of Doom and in Last Crusade. And I can't speak to the last bits of tripe, but it's that the brazenness of that character, right? Never, there's no fist he's not willing to put his fucking jaw in front of, because he's a fucking punching bag, right? In these fucking movies, he just is. He like keeps getting into fights and getting the shit kicked out of him, and then fucking coming back for more. And I don't know, how can you not like that character? Like this, just again, it's the American James Bond, go in there, like be absolutely fearless, fight vehemently for what you believe in against the Nazis. I mean, fuck, is there any more American thing than that? I don't think so.
No, you're probably right.
And like they said in the Honest Trailers, and I 100% believe it, would you even know what a fedora was if it was for Indiana Jones?
Probably not.
I know I wouldn't. Like, what the fuck is a fedora?
Yeah, it's a small hat.
It's not that small. For when you have a small head, when you have a smaller head, like it's really hard to get a fedora that fits. I've tried.
I've never gone fedora shopping, so I don't know.
You haven't been to a haberdashery?
A what now?
A haberdashery.
Apparently not.
You've never heard that term before?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Haberdashery.
I feel like you're just making up syllables right now.
I'm totally like, I'm not smart. I'm not quick enough or smart enough to make up a word like that. Honestly,
Okay.
if I'm going to make up gibberish, it's not going to be that concise. Haberdashery. It's a fucking hat store.
Okay.
But they make hats. Like they still have them today.
Do they have them in this room right now?
A haberdashery? I think if there was a haberdashery in this fucking studio right now.
Okay.
There is not.
Just making sure.
Yeah. There's some in the Philadelphia area.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Fair enough.
I can't believe it. Whatever. You uncultured swine.
You can only use that once per podcast.
No, I can use it as many times as I fucking want.
All right, fair enough. So anything else on Raiders of the Lost Ark?
No.
The sound of silence.
I'm trying to Stonebleeds put something in Cyrillic and I'm trying to translate it.
Oh my god. And this is the point where Dave is eternally distracted by the chat.
Yeah, facts.
So, all right. I had one last note, and this was during the rolling credits, which we've already talked about Cunt Kennedy quite a bit today. But yes, in the credits, it is associate to Mr. Spielberg, Kathleen Kennedy.
Right.
Who, by the way, the movie was produced by Frank Marshall, who is now currently married to Kathleen Kennedy. So I feel like she was fucking passed around a lot back in these days.
Listen,
between fucking George and Steven and fucking Frank.
I think that Lucasfilm Limited there was a giant orgy of nepotism going on within that organization. Like people that worked on Star Wars had their connections with Spielberg, and Spielberg coming into the Lucasfilm network and all that other bullshit. Like they all fucking slept in the same beds, basically. So it doesn't surprise me that something like that would happen. Honestly, and it doesn't. And we would never know. Honestly, it's such an obscure fucking title for Kathleen Kennedy. I mean,
yeah,
we look at her now as being the devil incarnate when it comes to how Disney is, what Disney has turned Star Wars into.
Yep.
But I mean,
back in the day, she was probably just doing lines of coke off of George's cock. So
maybe cocaine's a hell of a drug.
It is. So, all right. Well, is that it then?
Cowboy Ted got his fedora at the Burlington Coat Factory. I'm just saying
that. Okay. Sure. Why are we talking about this?
As opposed to a haberdashery.
Again, I feel like you're just making things up as we go along.
I'm not. I assure you, good sir, that the haberdashery is in fact a thing. And I know this because haberdashery, first thing that came up in Google. God. And you think your computer doesn't fucking listen to you.
Oh, they totally do. I don't think they're even subtle about it anymore. I think they don't even try to hide the fact. No, but then when you try to search for something that you've been talking about all day, and it's like, what are you talking about? We can't autocomplete. It's like bullshit.
Yeah,
you know exactly what I'm fucking searching.
You're just not interested in what I'm what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
it won't make you any money. So then I type in hat store, and it says hat store haberdashery, and a bunch of fucking fedoras. God, fucking. If I wasn't so enthralled with the technology, it'd be terrifying. I mean, honestly, I don't have anything. I could care less. They can listen to every word I say. I don't give a shit. I talk like this for an audience of thousands. I really don't give a shit. But it's it's fucking anyway. I don't know where I was going with that.
So, all right, how about we talk about next week and what we're gonna do next week?
What are we doing next week?
We're talking about our 25 plus year military careers.
Oh, yeah.
So you have an important anniversary coming up. So along those lines, we are going to talk about our military history. Yep. And we're going to do it in sort of an AMA style, or at least we're going to have an AMA portion. So in Ask Us Anything, Luna Girl, our social media director, is going to be putting a lot of questions and stuff up in Instagram and on Facebook. And we're basically just, if you have any questions for two guys who have been in the military for 25 or more years, and you want to know more about it, either our own personal experiences or the military life in general, that's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of recap both of our long fucking careers with
yeah.
a lot of shenanigans that happened, and I'm sure we'll tell some stories. We'll probably keep some stories closer to the vest because it's probably best that this information never goes public.
Facts.
So, yeah, that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and we have obviously between the two of us with 50 years of fucking military, it's we know a lot of people. We've done a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a question about something and we can't answer it, chances are there's going to be people in the chat that are with you that could answer that particular thing for us, or we'll find out what the answer is.
Yeah. And obviously we can't talk about anything that's of any sort of classification.
They can ask, and then we can come up with some crazy shit that they could just fucking go with, and then we'll see it. You know, we'll see what happens with it.
Right. Like, well, I mean, I guess we could tell them the truth about Area 51. I mean, since we've been there, and
only if somebody asks.
Okay.
Only if somebody asks. If nobody asks, we're not going to tell them.
You've met Flurgan, right? Oh, okay. Never mind.
Can't use names.
Sorry. I mean, you've met Jim, right?
And
Jim
and Harry.
Okay. Yep. All right. Just making sure. So, all right. So that's it for this week. Hopefully this episode made some semblance of sense. And if it didn't, well, fuck it. That's just kind of our thing. It's what we do anyway.
Yep, exactly.
So, all right. Social media?
At the Sidebar Cantina on Instagram.
Yeah.
And if you're on the Facebook and you want to get involved in some of the I was going to say backdoor shenanigans. I feel like that's not really what I'm trying to say.
If you want to get backdoored, go to the Sidebar Cantina private Facebook group.
Yeah, and do that.
Well,
and backdoored, and also the background shenanigans.
Right, and I will say too, that's where Wally's new art was first debuted.
Yes,
he posted it in the cantina. So if you want to be one of the people to see that shit first,
and honestly, just due to the graphic nature of that fucking picture, I'd prefer to keep that in the cantina just so that people have something they like. We give them a little taste with the fucking t-shirt from tpublic.com/users/ the Sidebar Cantina podcast. If you're interested, it'll be in the show notes.
It will be.
And yeah, get yourself a shirt and sport. If you procure one of these shirts, we need to see it.
Sure.
We need like the gym selfie with the fucking shirt in there. And if you are like me personally, I couldn't wear that shirt in public because people would ask me about it, and I don't like talking to people.
Right.
Like honestly, like outside of this element, I really don't want to interact with strangers. So it won't be me. But if you don't give a shit and you decide you're going to wear one of these shirts out in public, and somebody comes up and asks you about it, whatever you come up with, we'll back you up. I'll just say that. If you come up with something outlandish and this is the background story of this picture, cool. Let us know what it is, and we'll back it up.
Yeah.
Whatever outlandish bullshit you come up with to tell people what it's about, or just direct them to the Sidebar Cantina, and we'll tell them from there.
Yeah.
And Luna Girl's going to update the link tree stuff so that will reflect our TeePublic. How you doing?
Yeah, excellent.
And it's on a mask. Bronco Fett, you can go to the store right now. In fact is, I'm going to share the screen and show you how to do this because I just want to bring it up on the screen because I love it. As you can see here, when you have the Jason Rose, which I just cracked myself up. Scroll down to the bottom here, and they have more products that include. Oh wait, it's not listed there. Hang on, there's got to be a way. If there's not a mask showing right now, I know it's available. It'll be available. Don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little head.
Can I get a notebook with that on there?
Yeah.
Did I just see that? Oh, shit.
The Jason Rose notebook. Hoodies, tank tops, phone cases. Like if you really like, here's your phone case. There you go.
Oh my God. I can't. All right. we have to stop this. This is
the best is I put one of the for this particular thing, one of the tags I put was Titanic. So that when you scroll out the bottom, it says Titanic stickers just for you.
Yeah. Oh, and there's Mr. Burns.
There's Mr. Burns. Oh, it's fucking great.
All right.
My wife did ask how come you weren't wearing the necklace, and I think that's a story for another time.
Yeah. Well, you can bring that up with Wally. So, all right. Thank you everybody for watching on YouTube. Thank you everybody for listening to the audio version of the podcast. Next week we'll talk about our military careers. Then the week after, we're doing Chappelle Show. So 2 weeks from now, we're getting back to Chappelle Show. July, we've got a lot to talk about as far as our July schedule. So stand by on that. And
yeah.
And
vacation mode for
both of us.
For both of us.
Yeah. So I guess nothing else needs to be said. So Dave, go fuck yourself.
And may the force be with you. I don't like that one. Okay, now draw me one of your French girls.
What? Oh, all right. File.
What is she? What is all right? So Dave should show the pic from today's post about this episode, and everyone can see the whip position in Jason's hand.
What?
I don't know what he's talking about, so I don't.
Wait, who said this?
Scott.
Dave should show the pic from today's post about this episode, and everyone can see the whip position in Jason's hand. Oh, Kelly's promo post for the show.
Okay.
She did us in Indiana Jones gear.
Well, now I need to see what's unique about the whip in Jason's hand.
Well, I don't know. I'm pulling it.
Oh
up
my
now.
God.
What? What?
Yeah.
Let me see it.
Bring it up on your phone.
Oh my God. No, it's on Facebook, right?
No, it's on Instagram. It might be on Facebook.
I think she put it on Facebook too. Oh, let me look at this.
Oh my fucking God. Oh, you saw that? I hadn't seen that.
Yeah.
What do you think of the shirt?
Oh, yes. I'd wear it if he'd buy me one.
Might have to have
Oh my God. What the fuck?
Kelly claims that was unintentional.
Come on, man.
It's messed up.
Oh,
You can probably turn on the AC now.
all right.
Scott pointed out that the whip was in a certain position. That's
Come on, Kelly. What are you doing?
It is. I mean,
you've got the medallion, and I've got the dick in my mouth. It's great.
It's not all in your mouth. It's just in your hand.
It's right in my face.
Perfect position. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
It's so messed up.
Oh, I don't know why the mask bit didn't show up with hang on, let's see if I can fix that. Oh, product is not available.
Why not?
Because it has mature content.
What?
You can put it on a magnet, a pin, a tapestry, a tote, a pillow, a notebook. Wall art, it wasn't big enough. That's what she said.
Huh.
Mugs, cases, stickers, apparel, no masks. Damn it. All right. I will make a version that I can legitimately call not adult. And then that will be...
With, like, pasties?
Yeah, but it's still adult. You know what? Honestly, the only thing adult version of this is the fucking... the silhouetted Twi'leks in the logo. I am working on a design that has that Pornhub one that you made with the Pornhub thing.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm working on that.
It was very easy too. So.
This took me like 3 hours. Well, because I had to take Wally's picture, and then I had the sidebar bit, and just taking the like straight logo and putting it over, I thought would just like, I don't know. I wasn't happy with that look. So then I like, all right, well, let me have our logo sketched. So I went through a bunch of different bullshit to fucking make our logo look like it was sketched. And then I had to convert the picture over to the same sketching that would have been in the logo. So that it looks, it was a whole thing. Meanwhile, when I finished, like I had to call everybody, well, Kathy in particular, and she called her father down to see it.
My God.
Yeah.
Did he like it?
No, he did not. I think he was horrified, to be honest. But
well, that's what he looks like, and
yep,
with no
really
shirt
proud
on.
of him.
Yeah,
yes,
apparently.
He looks hard on that.
Yeah, giant boobies. I wonder, so I'm hoping Wally watches this or listens to this, and
pretty sure he listens to the audio.
Yeah, and I'm curious as to how much prep work went into that particular thing. Like, did you watch Titanic and pause it, or did you just go on the internet and find like the picture?
Yeah, I'm sure he just went on the
emulated
internet
that?
and found it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because like from the basically from the neck down, it might as well be fucking Kate Winslet.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'd like to think if I was a woman, that's what I'd want my body to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With no nipples at all.
Well, I mean,
you'd basically look like a Barbie doll with
she might have had cancer. You don't know.
Mm.
Be a little sympathetic.
Nope, never. Whoa.
What?
Bronco Fett has never seen Titanic.
What? Get the hell out. Okay, any reason why? Like, I'd like to know. Like, did you avoid it for a particular reason? Or is it just, again, one of those things that you never got around to?
So my buddy Sean in high school, he was going out with this girl who was absolutely obsessed with the movie. So we ended up seeing it like 3 or 4 times in a movie theater. I wasn't 100% like.
But this was after high school, though.
It was. He started going out with her in high school.
Okay.
But yeah, so when it came, like we were there all the time, I kind of grew sick of it, to be honest. Like I was just fucking Titanic again. All right, can we sneak out of this and go see something else? Like go watch Pulp Fiction again.
Like this was the first time you were watching it, or
in the theater when it came out in the theater.
Yeah,
like we just went continuously.
Oh, okay, so you saw it multiple times.
Okay, gotcha. Yes, it was like first time I was like, this is really long. Like, can the boat just sink already? And then, oh wow, boobs. All right, now sink the boat. Come on. Yeah, it was. I wasn't 100% into it.
Huh. All right.
Just wasn't.
I always enjoyed it, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, Tom, just watch the movie once. Come on. What else are you doing with your life? The Broncos aren't playing right now. Like, really, what else you got going on? What, a job? A wife? Come on. Come on.
I'm sure Tom, has your wife seen it?
Oh, good question.
I mean, it might be something you guys can enjoy together.
Yeah. Have a date night.
Yeah. It's a long ass movie. Like, you're going to have to make multiple pee stops.
Correct.
Because it was. It's a movie that should have had an intermission, to be honest.
Mm.
Because especially the first time you go and see it, you're like, am I going to miss something? Is the boat going to stink now? If I go take a leak, I'm going to get up and it's going to be like, blah, 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 blah. Like, no.
I mean, it's not like they're just doing nothing, killing time. They're moving the story forward throughout the whole movie. It's just a long movie.
You know what I think it is? I think there is the way that Irish are portrayed in it, I don't appreciate.
What, a bunch of fucking drunken idiots? It sounds pretty accurate to me.
Well, I mean, that's fair. I really can't argue with that synopsis. It's more about it made it. I don't know. I think it made the entire Irish that were basically fucking shoveling coal in these giant fucking engine rooms and just in these awful conditions, just glamorized it just a little bit. It had some very stereotypical fucking Irish bullshit in it, but whatever.
Dave's really upset from when he couldn't find a job back in 1821 when they wouldn't hire Irish on the East Coast. He's very upset still.
I think it was 1821.
I just picked a number.
It was because when did the Titanic sink? Wasn't it like
that was 1910? But yeah. Fuck the Irish. We haven't liked them for a long time.
It's fair.
You fucking Irish with your fucking accents.
Right. What's Roscommon derived from?
German.
Right. Right. Explains a lot, folks.
No, what was I going to say? Did you ever see the Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman? They were the fucking Irish people that
Far and Away.
Far and Away, yeah. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that movie? No. All right. Again, I enjoyed it.
I've never seen it.
I mean, it's Nicole Kidman at like her finest.
Like one of the few movies she wasn't naked in, though. So.
But she was in other movies naked, so you had an idea.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No.
Whatever.
She's not a Nicole Kidman fan.
Apparently not.
Not really.
Yeah.
She wasn't naked in Days of Thunder.
I've actually never seen that.
Really?
Yeah.
What even is that?
So,
Tom Cruise is a race car driver.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which honestly, like for his size, like
I
that's
was just
what
thinking,
he's.
does he get a booster seat?
No, that NASCAR drivers are that small.
Oh. Okay.
They're smaller because you're squeezing down a car.
Okay.
So I missed my calling, apparently.
But perhaps
Yeah.
that's not what I was going with, but we can go with that.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, somebody I went to school with is a famous NASCAR driver now. So.
That's right.
So we'll.
Dick Trickle? No.
Kevin Harvick, Dick.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Dick Trickle that's a real
Is that a real name?
that is a real name.
Dick Trickle? No.
I swear to God. Hang on.
That is not a real
I
name.
do not want to Google
Don't
Dick
Google
Trickle.
that, No.
Oh yeah. Just don't go to the images. Jesus Christ.
The kind of thing you Google on someone else's computer.
That's his name. That's really it's American race car driver Dick Trickle.
No.
Dude, I swear to God. I'm sure there's NASCAR people in the. Oh my God. See, I can't make this stuff up. I'm not that quick. Like there's little nuggets in my brain are of things that I've seen at some point in my life. Hang on.
All right. Somebody's telling me it was a great movie. Which movie? Days of Thunder? That's the only one I said I haven't seen.
It was Top Gun of fucking NASCAR racing.
All right.
Basically.
Still no.
And Top Gun was great. It was the greatest gay love story of our time.
Facts. There you go. Dick Trickle. Richard Leroy Trickle.
What the fuck?
Dick Trickle. Can't make this shit up, man.
Wow.
You can't make real life is so much funnier than anything I can come up with.
Jeez. You can't make that shit up.
Nope.
All right. We need to discuss what we're going to do for July.
Okay.
We might as well do it now.
All right. Well, I might as well do it now.
I mean, first of all, so calendar-wise, so next week is AMA. The week after is the day before I leave for California, the 28th.
Okay.
And that'll be the Chappelle.
Okay.
I don't suppose you can record on the 27th that week, can you? Because I'll be. Oh no, the 27th. I'm fucking working that day. It's gonna have to be the 28th. Can you do earlier in the day on the 28th?
Mondays are. Yeah, I should be able to. I should be able to.
Monday the 5th, I will still be in California, so we're not doing a show that day.
Okay.
So do we want to just skip a week, or do we want to double bang?
I think that's what she said.
Two shows out on the 28th.
No, I think we should just skip. We'll just
Okay.
skip a week for
Skip the
vacation
5th.
because I'm going to be up at Cape Cod for. I'd be gone the 5th anyway.
How long are you going to be there?
I think just 2 nights. Yeah, 2
You
nights.
should go whale watching.
We'll see. We'll see what Kathy wants to do.
Boring.
just-
Okay.
I'm done.
It's
So,
Done.
all right. I want to get the chats.
I'm not a fan.
I want to get the chat's feedback on this because I want to do a bad movie, right?
Okay.
My vote was for Birdemic,
Yes.
which, by the way, I'm just going to go ahead and put a link in the chat to the trailer for Birdemic.
I'm seconding Birdemic.
So
Birdemic. Dave wants to do something else.
yeah, Dave wants to do Gentleman Broncos.
Gentleman Broncos, which apparently is the follow up to the guy who did Napoleon Dynamite. Some people actually enjoy that movie, where Birdemic is far and away known as a god awful.
I had never heard of it at all.
I hadn't either.
Well, I just posted the link to the trailer in the chat, so everybody in the chat right now, go watch at least a section of that trailer on YouTube and tell us what you think, because
Probably could only get through a section.
Yeah, I think we need to do that, because I've never actually seen it. I've seen the trailer and I've seen a couple of scenes on YouTube. I think we should try to sit through Birdemic and give our feedback here on the podcast.
Fine. All right, we'll do Birdemic. let's just fucking put it on the calendar.
All right.
Just so I can be annoyed. Well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
Well,
Isn't
yeah.
the point for me to get
it's gonna be good content for the show.
On it.
Yeah.
But we can put a pin in the Gentleman Broncos, and we can do that next. We can, like, I'll pick this one, and then you get the next one after that. As far as the Bad Batch goes, the Bad Batch finale air date. So the Bad Batch will be concluding in August. So far, nothing has really happened of substance that I feel we need to spend a whole episode of the show talking about. So we can skip that in July, I think.
Okay.
So we have a movie topic for July. We need a music topic for July, and then just something else. What?
Gentleman Broncos was made by BYU people.
Like, legitimately?
I don't know, but I love that fucking idea.
All right, so we need a music topic. So we're open to suggestions for music topics. We have a movie topic for July. When is Top Gun coming out?
I don't know.
Or Maverick?
I have access to the internet, and I will look that up. Top Gun Maverick, 2021 film.
It's November now?
Fuck off.
35 years. The original Top Gun is going to be 35 years old.
We know. That's why we want to do it, but
That's probably what that.
we're hoping to correlate the two things.
Yeah, kind of like do back-to-back weeks where we first talk about the first one, and then we talk about Maverick. What the fuck? It got pushed back again.
Is it coming out like with some kind of streaming service before then?
Well,
I hope not.
So because
That's
it was
what they seem to be doing.
well, it was supposed to come out in that 40X theater
Yes.
that we went to, that we saw Rise of Skywalker.
And that's where I want to see it. I want to see it in the
because it's got
40X.
the fucking motion seats
Yeah.
and the fucking
Yeah,
the
I want a fucking G-Lock watching a movie.
hell yeah. All right, so is everybody finished watching the trailer for Birdemic?
Because that's what everyone was doing just now.
All right. Oh, we're still talking about NASCAR and BYU grads. Oh, and Bronco Fett he's saying yes, it was made by BYU grads. Wow.
So the Broncos word was selected specifically probably as a dig at fucking Boise State guys.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, 100%. It's post show. You can just fucking go, man.
I just want to let them know that this is where I'm going.
Oh, yeah, because they were going to be so stressed.
Whatever.
Like, oh my God, where'd he go? No, don't leave us.
All right, well, I'll be back.
Oh no. Glad you kept your shoes on today. You heard me. Bronco Vet's still on about Idaho transfer. We may have to do that one next.
I don't even know what that is.
Neither have I. It's apparently horrible, according to Bronco Fett. Although, again, I incite the Idaho bias into that, because if it's not something that's a direct, it doesn't make Idaho look good, then he's against it. So, alternative music. I don't know what that means. Choose a genre of music from the 90s. Did I miss something?
I have no idea.
Why are we talking about 90s music? We're looking for music for July. I don't know. I want another one of those.
They're all yours. Take them.
I'm going to have to travel them. I just can't. So what's been happening is I eat all this. I'm like, oh my god, stuff myself full, and I feel like shit the rest of the night because I'm like, I overate. I'm trying not to eat like an asshole, so I just soon finish those.
Still feels weird peeing outside in broad daylight when I can hear like one neighbor like mowing the lawn, and
this is the time to be mowing the lawn. Although today's probably not a good day for it because it's just been getting steadily warmer all day. Yeah, it's 81 now. It was still in the 70s when we sat down to do the show. John Williams for Music Topic. I don't know.
We kind of already did a John Williams episode as part of All Things Star Wars. Like we did our top 5 John Williams tracks. Just go back and listen to.
I want to. For me, I think doing another John Williams specific episode is going to have to be based on a milestone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Otherwise, every music episode could be a John Williams episode. I mean,
True.
Honestly.
Very true. Now, we did it within the realm of Star Wars. Like, we could, if we do another one at some point with a milestone, we could broaden it to, like, non-Star Wars. Oh!
We did talk about it with E.T. when you went and saw E.T.
Yes, but when we did our top 5 list, it was top 5 favorite John Williams Star Wars tracks.
True.
So we could do our top 5 favorite non-Star Wars tracks.
We could do that.
Yeah. That could be a thing.
Oh, sidebar. So my niece Lillian had a Harry Potter birthday.
Oh.
And I think I don't know if I showed you, but I got her the pops.
Yeah. Yeah, you were saying.
So the party, my sister went bananas, right? It was ridiculous. Like when you walked in the door, it had candles all hanging from the ceiling, right? She had the banners up on the one wall. Then when he went down the hallway, she had keys with wings all suspended from the ceiling. So it was like you couldn't, like, the snack table was all labeled. It was just like, oh my god, this is.
I would love to do something like that.
It was excessive. It was.
No, Karen.
I knew it. I could hear you writing that.
Whatever.
Harry Potter. I don't know why. I mean, of all the things, Harry Potter is not one of them.
Yeah, seriously.
The first movie was so boring.
It was for 11-year-olds.
Yeah, really.
It was still boring.
The last book is one of my favorite books of all time.
Really?
Like, it's like I will not read it by itself. I make myself go through the whole series just to earn the right to read the last book again, and then I like close everything off. It's like an experience. So good.
Gay.
I think that the Harry Potter movies were better than the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh. I'm not even sure I'd go that far.
Take that. Whether I believe that or not, I'm take that.
Fucking blasphemy. I don't know why I do a show with this guy.
Listen, Mr. I haven't even seen a James Bond movie.
That's right, I have not.
No.
We could, honestly, if we ever chose to do like a Lord of the Rings thing, I can spend a good 2 hours shitting on that. I really, really could.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Did you read the books?
Yes, actually, I did.
Before you saw the movies?
So here's the thing. Like, I started reading the first book before the first movie came out.
Right.
I did read The Hobbit. I tried to get to the first book. Those books are hard to fucking read.
No
man.
shit.
They are really hard to read.
Especially as a fucking 12-year-old.
And I think I only got maybe halfway through it before the first movie came out.
Right.
But I made a point. Like, I continued to try to read them as the other movies came out. And I did finish reading all 3 books before the third movie came out. Okay. So I did read the third book before the third movie came out.
Okay. I read all that shit as a child.
Yeah.
How?
I just could.
Yeah.
And
I read it for 7th grade English.
well, we did the Hobbit.
Yeah.
I read the rest of them on my own.
Yeah, same. Yeah. But the audiobooks are really good. The guy who does Gollum, Andy, what's his name?
Circus.
I will not. If I can't watch the movies,
for the new...
if I can't watch the movies, I'm certainly not going to sit there and listen to the books. I feel like that'd just be like, oh, I can't stand this length of time of watching these movies. Now let me quadruple that trying to listen to an audiobook. 16 hours of no, can't do it. And I don't hate the books. I don't hate the books. I just I really was just not into the fucking movies. I just wasn't.
It's about walking. 3 movies about people walking to a fucking volcano.
Yeah. Basically.
And there's a lot of singing. You can save a lot of time by flipping through the singing.
Just mute it and watch Liv Tyler for the entirety of the thing.
Now, Amazon is doing their own series based on Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah?
Like, it's I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but
tell me more. I'm terribly interested.
You guys have to do that.
I'm just saying, like, they're doing their own take on the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy. So it'll be interesting to see how it differs from the movies, like what they add, what they subtract, what how true they are to the books.
Again, I'm enthralled. Please tell me more.
You're the worst.
Said I put it out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So we still need a music topic. We've got a movie topic. We're doing Birdemic.
Yes.
How many weeks do we have in July? So it'll be the 12th, 19th, and 26th. So we have a movie. We need a music, and we need.
Somebody in the chat was talking about going into the 90s, like doing a genre of the 90s.
I think it's too early to get back into that.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. I'm not worried about the music one. There's a billion fucking things literally that.
Oh, sure. And we can always look for like milestones and anniversaries and shit like that.
Bullshit. Or somebody in the fucking chat. Cowboy Ted liked the animated Lord of the Rings from 1978.
I
know of it. I've never actually watched it.
I can't say that I have either.
I've seen it.
But I think it was it was all 3 books in one 2-hour animated movie.
I would be willing to fucking entertain that.
Yeah. They probably had to cut a lot of stuff out. Right.
Pantera,
Kiss.
Like, that is the most understated thing you've ever said in your fucking life. If they cut an animated show for Lord of the Rings down to 2 hours, they must have cut a lot of stuff out. You think?
Yeah.
About fucking 64 hours of walking. Yeah, I know my cousin's fucking dumbfounded by this, but yeah, that's not my jam. Lord of the Rings was not my jam.
We may have to have an all-encompassing just Lord of the Rings discussion.
I told you, I could spend 2 hours shitting on that movie.
And I'm not talking about just the movies. I'm talking about like the books, the movies, like what all exists for the animated stuff.
Yes, I agree. Rick said there's 2 animated movies. Lunar Girl said Seven Dust. Are you familiar with Seven Dust?
I think I know one of their songs.
We're going to be going to see them in concert when I get back from my vacation.
Yeah.
Going out to Bethlehem to go see them.
So it's in July?
It's in July, yeah.
What would I know from them? Or what was popular? Or
you would... Seven Dust is one of those bands where you know if you like them. Like, it's not...
I don't think he knows that.
I don't think so.
Right.
How about Dave Matthews?
Could do Dave Matthews? I could do Dave
I
Matthews.
could talk about Dave Matthews for 2 hours. So I would like to.
I'm familiar with a couple of the songs.
We should totally do it.
I played them for like 10 years.
If you're going to make me sit through Lord of the Rings discussion, then you can sit through a Dave Matthews.
I'm not saying we have to do a Lord of the Rings.
I saw them in Hershey. That was fun. I saw their concert in Hershey. We drove down.
I've seen them probably 20 plus times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It used to be, I think I mentioned this on the show, but they used to come through Philly twice a year. So I would see the indoor show in winter and see the outdoor show in summer. Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Cowboy Ted said there are 2 movies, The Return of the King and Lord of the Rings. Are you talking the animated movies?
Animated. Yeah,
Okay.
my cousin Rick said the same thing.
Okay.
Or something similar. Yeah, you know what? Vickers might be right. The 25th anniversary of the Crash album. Is that right? Is that right? 25 fucking years? Oh my god.
Yeah?
I'm going to be sick.
Yeah. That was the one that made me love them, and then I went back and listened to everything before. It
kind of was there.
Yeah.
Wow. 96 it was released.
Wow.
So we got it. It's not quite 25 though, right?
Well,
yeah, it can't be because I graduated. Oh, maybe math.
It's been 25 years since 1996.
Fucking that's right. My son's gonna be 25. Oh my god! Holy shit! We could do that though.
I have no frame of reference though, so
Your wife does. We can have her on.
Okay, you could even take my place, and I'll just sit off in the corner and just be like,
just sit off
hooray!
to the side. But you have to listen to some of the music.
We'll listen to some stuff together.
There you go. See, make it a couples thing.
Sure.
Look how excited she is.
All right, whatever. Are we done here?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So stay tuned. Next week, military AMA. The week after, Chappelle Show. We're taking a week off for the 4th. And then all kinds of nonsense for July. So it's going to be a good time. Do a show on the MCU. I mean, one show on the MCU would be a lot, especially considering Dave probably hasn't seen any of those movies. Maybe 1 or 2.
I've seen 1 or 2.
Yeah. So that would be tough. I've seen.
Yeah, Dave loves Marvel.
I've seen almost everything pre-Endgame. I think I never saw the second Thor movie. I never saw I never saw Black Panther. I never saw one of the other sequels.
I would rather watch Lord of the Rings
than the Marvel movies. Goddamn.
Wow.
Okay. Well. Sure.
I like what I like.
This is the post show about everything that Dave hates.
Facts.
So, all right.
Are we talking about dedicating particular episodes to things that Dave hates?
That is
like,
true.
I.e., movies, so Dave can shit on something for 2 hours. We can do that, or we could just have Dave eats brownies and fucking we have musical interlude in the background.
I'm telling you, people would watch that.
I know it's sick.
There's
I know they would.
Definite groups of people.
I could wear the T-shirt with Jason's face on it and just eat brownies and just have the brownie stuff dribble over it. People would lose their minds.
Just all you have to
lose
do
their minds
is just like make noises, like delicious,
make delicious
noises.
sound noise.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I'm telling you,
wear
man.
a really tight shirt. That helps.
Oh yeah, it's just like
really
shows my fucking gut, just like
yeah.
I don't understand what's happening right now.
We're talking about things that people like, Jason.
All right, I'm gonna cut the stream
to
off.
To your audience.
Is that my audience?
You don't know.
All right.
Can Dave do a Wilford Brimley voice?
Probably have to practice a little bit.
I would have to practice.
All right, I'm cutting the stream. This is getting a little bit too much, and
Rick said we got to have bowls with stuff for dipping sauces. Yeah, 100%.
What?
I think we should have a separate stream going from when we eat before the show.
Oh my god!
I've been saying
and just not talk. We just.
I'm telling you. You know what? People would watch. You'd be shocked. Just
I would be shocked.
Instant.
What's scary is if we got more viewership from us eating
I honestly
than our regular show,
think
that would be
you
fucking
and it would not take long.
epic.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think we have to go.
well, I got diabetes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. This has been a very interesting evening.
You're trying so hard to leave.
And yeah, we'll see you next week when we talk about our military careers.
Yes. And eating.
Good night.